Right, you're about to stream live. Your event is starting. And it says it's streaming. Right, we'll do the usual shtick of letting the thing catch up because, again, the echo thing's always ugh.
Right.
All right, folks. Thank you for being patient with us. We just need to have something answered from the audience at the moment because OBS is being OBS this evening. We just need to know, in the audience, can you hear us?
Type 1 in the chat.
Yeah, so... Because it's gonna be a little bit awkward if, nobody's able to hear what we're saying. So,
Yeah.
Steve, Sean, whoever's there. Aaron Izzard. Hello. Sean says he can hear us. Okay.
Yeah, I can hear us as well. I'm on the video itself.
Oh,
Actually,
well, that's helpful.
Another word of advice. If you turned on OBS before, you start a conversation on Skype or Discord, sometimes OBS doesn't pick up the desktop audio from
Right.
Skype and Discord.
Okay.
So if you're looking at OBS, when you're looking at where it says desktop audio, do you see the audio like moving up and down when I'm talking?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right, cool.
Yeah, Sean, I will touch upon the RE3 remake next year. Random is already pre-ordering this week as we speak. One thing that has got everybody talking since I think it was Monday or Tuesday last week. The trailer for the long-awaited Ghostbusters 3. I have to say, based on what I've seen, first and foremost, it seems to be honouring and paying a lot of homage to the first two movies, aside from, showing archive news footage of the original four going to battle Gozer in the first movie. We see Egon's uniform in the abandoned farmhouse. We see Ecto-1, obviously a little bit weathered and a little bit run down, but the girl can still move. And the other thing I like is not only is Egon's PKE meter in there, but they've got the trap as it originally was in the first two movies, and the young girl that they've got in there, she looks so much like, Harold Ramis would look as a child. It's a little bit unsettling, to say the least. A lot of people are comparing this take with Ghostbusters to that of Stranger Things. Now, having never been privied with watching a single episode of Stranger Things, and that's not to say that I've been purposely avoiding it. I just don't have the time to do that in between working full-time, doing the various video projects that I have. One of the very few times I actually get to sit down and actually enjoy something. One of the very few times I actually get to sit down and enjoy something, of my interest is either if I'm sitting down to watch new episodes of Thunderbirds, which Steven and I have pretty much found out for ourselves that January, the last 8 episodes will air, and we've already getting a small hashtag getting moved on Twitter saying hashtag we want season 4. I was going to put damn it in there, but that might have gotten taken the wrong way by ITV. It's difficult for me to sit down and watch these new things because there are still people that get on my case to this day that get all up in a frenzy when I tell them I've never even seen the first episode of Game of Thrones, and they're like, "Heresy! How dare you?" And I'm like, "Dude, I've got other things to do. Get off." But Lids, as somebody who has probably seen Stranger Things, can you see that correlating and working well with this next?
Absolutely. Yeah, I've actually only seen season 1 of Stranger Things, and
Same
I can see
here.
the comparisons. I haven't seen season 2 or 3, but I definitely see the comparisons here, especially when you have Finn Wolfhard in the film, and he's basically one of the stars of Stranger Things. So
Nice.
I see a lot of the comparison, but yeah. And funny enough, the kid that they have as one of Egon's grandkids, one of them is a girl.
That's what I meant.
Yeah, oh, okay, but I'm like, wow. I'm like, I couldn't tell for a second. It's like, huh, okay. But I do see a lot of a Stranger Things vibe to this, especially when they're riding around in the Ecto one trying to take out. I think that's Slimer.
I can say wholeheartedly, when I heard Ecto 1's siren wailing again, I'm like, 8-year-old me is crying tears of joy. At that point, it's like, yes. Just to
He's wheeling already.
Hey, Raiden.
We doing it already.
You have begun.
Before I say anything, does anyone have the donkey side sound effect?
The what?
The donkey?
Okay.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I will
Yeah,
look for it right now. Donkey sound effect.
Okay, I think I said one post that I was going to give a special donkey of the day for someone that has kind of annoyed me for the last time in the wrestling world. So
Oh, no.
I want to dedicate to that.
Okay.
Hee-haw?
That'll do.
I'll take it.
I'm actually looking for donkey noises, so I'll help you out.
Okay.
See, this is why it's first lady awesome.
Imagine I'm like, wait, wrong donkey.
No, but it's like we just said, with regards to Afterlife, it's a very different approach and direction for Ghostbusters, but considering the dramatic failure that was the 2016 reboot, they needed to get the franchise back on track. And let's be fair, all the fans wanted was the long-awaited third movie continuing from where Ghostbusters 2 left off. That was all we wanted. We didn't need a reboot because there are certain franchises that are like sacred. You don't even remotely go within a millionth of an inch of even thinking about rebooting. One of those is Back to the Future. You leave that well alone. Ghostbusters is another one that should never have been touched. Star Wars, I think to some degree you could argue that you should never reboot that because it's so iconic that the only thing you could really do with it is, as they're doing at the moment, you can make prequels, you can make long-awaited sequels to the original trilogy. And I think Jurassic Park, to some degree, is one of those leave it alone. You can do possibly a prequel movie showing how John Hammond originally started constructing the park, and maybe at the end of the movie you see the birth of Rexy as she bursts out of her egg and what have you. But Afterlife,
Honestly, that would have worked as a comic prequel or animated feature.
well, they actually did do a very small prequel miniseries. I think it was from Manga Comics, where it was called Genesis, and you actually see John Hammond and Gennaro in the late 80s constructing the park on Isla Nublar, and Rexy is the first dinosaur to hatch out of the eggs. But like I say, with Afterlife, this is something that Random has been talking about at length, and I actually agree with this. He came up with the comedic title Ghostbusters: The Giant Apology Sequel, and I'm like, yeah.
or how about Ghostbusters? We're sorry.
That'll work.
No,
And probably read by the guy from that South Park clip. I'm sorry.
So-
I got a better
sorry.
one. I got a better one.
Mhm.
Ghostbusters. Okay, Raiden, we'll finally admit our L.
Or how about Ghostbusters? We done fucked up.
Oh dear. Or Ghostbusters. Yeah, we screwed up.
Yeah, it's happening.
But apparently there's going to be another trailer dropping. If I get this right, it's probably going to be probably late January, mid-February, where the next one will drop, because I think this movie's coming out May, June-ish, and we'll probably get more of an insight as to what's going on, because the only premise that we've got is that Egon basically collected what was left of the business, including Ecto-1 and a couple of proton packs, and moved way out into the sticks, and he left, essentially the house from Psycho, and actually, left it to his daughter and his grandkids. Although a lot of people are saying, "Oh, Egon never got married." I'm like, it's there's a time difference of 30 years. I think you could allow the man a little bit of time to get married and actually father some next generation of Spanglers. And they said, what if we had they said he could have had a one-night stand. It's like, okay, do not confuse Egon Spengler with Peter Venkman. That's more of his MO.
Yeah, right.
Because Egon was a little bit different, because he likes to collect spores, molds, and fungus. Peter Venkman likes to collect phone numbers. Because let's be fair. Although we all love the character that Bill Murray portrayed in both movies, let's just be outright realistic and fair with this. Venkman was just a lovable asshole. There are some things that he does
Totally.
is so prickish, but you're like, oh, you. I mean, I've said this so many times before, and even Random has picked up on this. Like, when you see the original movie for the first time, you hear the line, "Oh, that's the bedroom, but nothing ever happened in there. What a crime." When you're like 8, you're like, But when you're like 18, you're like, oh. And you sort of get it, and you think, oh, Venkman's a douche. So that's when I say, don't confuse Spengler with Venkman, because Spengler was dedicated to his science. I mean, it's quite possible that the mother and the kids may be, the family of Egon and Janine, because, Egon and Janine were speculated to be a thing until she went off with Louis Tully in the sequel. So, but then again, it's been, 30 years since the second movie. We don't know what's happened in that time frame, and the only thing that has been blocking this true sequel to the second movie is Bill Murray, because Dan Aykroyd has had various ideas over the last 30 years, one of which would have seen the Ghostbusters going up against the Devil in 1999, and then it got shifted to 2012, but because he and Bill Murray are 50-50 owners of the franchise, if one of them wants to go ahead with the movie, but the other one doesn't want to, the other one can cancel the other one out. So we know that the original remaining 3 have done their appearances. As to what involvement they're going to have in it, it's not really clear at this stage, but we know Murray's going to be in it. I know the guy hates sequels, but it's like, dude, this is the role that people most love you for. All you have to do is this one last movie, and then you can go off and do Garfield 3 if you wanted to.
He'll probably request a scene in which he gets Harrison Forded off the franchise.
Oh,
Yeah, I can see that happening. I mean, if he hates sequels so much, why the hell was he in Zombieland 2?
Yeah.
I know the answer. Money. Drugs
Yeah.
cost money.
maybe he just wants to spend the rest of his career just working on shit. What was that one director's name? Like the God damn it, who was that? The Fantastic Mr. Fox guy.
Oh, Wes Anderson?
Oh,
Wes
there we go,
Anderson,
yeah.
yes, he wants to spend the rest of his career doing Wes Anderson films, and I don't blame him. I mean, you just look at every single like promo image of Bill Murray involving Ghostbusters, and he just looks like dead tired of this shit.
Oh, Aaron is, I was just saying, but let us not forget, Venkman also took a hippo full of drugs on a date he was going to have with Dana Barrett. Oh god, that's just made it even worse.
Oof.
I mean, the one, of course, another classic from the first movies where he goes, is, where she goes, "Do you want this body? Is this a trick question?" You could get away with that in the 80s, whereas today they'd be like, you might want to rewrite that. I'll just read for a couple of comments. Well, I can see a reboot of Back to the Future, but it'd have to be done well. I'm going to have to agree to disagree on that, Aaron, only because you can't top perfection. That's just my stance on that. I like my Back to the Future the way I like it. Original. Steve says, I've said it before, don't mind strong female protagonists. What we don't like is when you take a franchise, force a message into a beloved franchise that didn't need it in the first place. I couldn't agree more. True words, Steven. Damn it, I've missed you guys. Steve said, we've missed you, Aaron. A lot can happen in 30 years, says Sean, and early Hudson will believe anything with a paycheck.
No.
Ernie Hudson, I need the money.
Yeah, I can still fit in the suit, damn it.
Yeah, seriously, folks. Let Ernie Hudson have this. Don't make him do another Dragon Ball Evolution.
No!
Considering the fact that I'm hearing they're trying to adapt Dragon Ball again into a franchise, I'm like, no!
He'll show up again, and I'm here.
Like, why?
Because I need the paycheck. Because Ernie's gotta eat.
Also because he likes big Twinkies, and they're not cheap.
That's a big Twinkie.
Raiden, what are your thoughts with regards to just the basic look of the Ghostbusters Afterlife trailer? Do you think it's the right direction to go? Should they stick to something a little bit more comedic like they did with the original? I mean, what do you see it going?
I think for me, when I see the trailer, it's just to say, hey, this is Ghostbusters. It's like it's all the stuff you remember, and probably with the next trailer coming out, I think you're going to get the more zany parts of it. You know what I'm saying? So, I think with this, it entices the fans to say, oh, this is Ghostbusters, even though this is something very different, but it keeps with the how do I say, what's the word, familiarity of it.
Yeah, I gotcha.
So I think with this trailer, I'm definitely looking forward to it. This is the Ghostbusters movie that fans needed for years. So, and also getting Paul Rudd in there, that was perfect. Very perfect.
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially with his escapades with Ant-Man and all that jazz. That this is the perfect role for him. I'm definitely looking forward to what the rest of the movie is going to look like. So, I'm glad they kept everything like secret, but very familiar with it. So,
Yeah.
I'm definitely looking forward to it.
I mean, the only ghost that was actually featured in the trailer that you could actually see a full form of was Slimer. But then again, it's not Ghostbusters without Slimer.
Of course not.
Yes. I'm also hearing the Zool monster might be back. I don't know.
Yeah, one of the dogs did actually show in the trailer, although it was just like a lower half shot. But as soon as I heard the growl, I'm like, "Oh, we're doing this again." Okay. But you know, it's often said movie 3 relates more to the first than the second.
Yeah.
This is particularly true, as much as I hate Spider-Man 3, there is a lot of more of a connection to the first movie than there was with the second. I can't say the same thing with Jurassic Park 3 because I felt like that movie was trying to be its own thing and not try to have so much of a connection to the first movie. Terminator 3, I wouldn't really know. The only connection that there is between the first and third movie is Arnold, and the fact that it's just John Connor now because at that point in the story Sarah Connor had sadly passed away. And I don't know, would you say Back to the Future Part 3 has more in common with the first, or
It was a little bit of a stretch for me. I mean, I like the Old West setting, but I feel 2 had more in common with 1 than 3.
all right.
Yeah, the third one was kind of sort of a different entity.
It's like a fun little romp. It's like, oh, we're back in time again.
Lids, your thoughts with regards to Afterlife? Same just question I've just asked Raiden. Do you like the sort of tone that they're going with it? Where do you see it going?
Oh, I absolutely loved it. I love the tone. It's definitely a bit of an apology for Feig Busters. I'm sorry, it is.
That's an understatement.
Boy.
And the look of it, I love that it kind of looks like a little. It does have the Stranger Things vibe, but that also kind of ripped off the Goonies, which is actually one of my favorite movies. So it's got a little bit of Stranger Things, the Goonies. It's got Ghostbusters in there. It's like it's mixing all the things I like.
I feel you.
So, but I'm looking forward to seeing when they drop this trailer because I'm thinking I'm going to drop it in February, which is around Super Bowl time, which makes sense.
You beat me by 1 second.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and thank you for giving us the movie that we wanted, not that carbon copy piece of shit we got a few years ago.
And last but never least, we go to our own Egon Spengler in Kaiju. What do you make of it?
I was gonna say I collect Godzilla and Kaiju accessories.
Knowing you, that wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, I was genuinely surprised by the approach they took with this movie. Mostly in the fact that the story, the premise itself, feels very low key for a Ghostbusters movie. We moved from like the Big Apple, a big city where there's a bunch of ghosts running around. Instead, it seems like a much smaller scaled, smaller in scope, very personalized story about a group of kids or maybe an entire family coming together and sort of honoring the legacy of their family member, which will most likely be Egon. It's very different for a sequel, and I appreciated that. It's not trying to be a rehash, apparently, from what we've seen, unlike the 2016 movie, which was nothing but one massive rehash of the first movie. And yeah, it's a refreshing. It's a breath of fresh air, and it looks to be very promising. There's not a whole lot I can say based off of what we've seen in the trailer, other than it looks. Oh yeah, I do remember. I remember upon seeing the first movie, I did get a hint of a like Zemeckis Spielbergian vibe from the movie, because of that smaller scale, very personal feel to the movie, very similar to like E.T. or Back to the Future and whatnot. I know Ghostbusters wasn't really made by those people, but I know it was made around the same time. And again, both you guys have been mentioning Stranger Things, which is also going for that similar feel where it's focused more on the characters and the bond between them as they go through this supernatural threat. And I think that would be a good fit for Ghostbusters Afterlife, and potentially it'll be hopefully it will stay true to the franchise's roots.
The only other thing, and all I'm asking from the scoring and the soundtrack, please open up with Ray Parker Jr.'s song. That's all I'm asking, because you can't do Ghostbusters without that. It's like trying to do Star Wars, Jaws, without Sir John. I know he's an American, but I always refer to him as Sir John Williams because I have that much respect for him as a composer. And in the same regard, you think of, some of the Godzilla scores that have been done in the past. You can't do Godzilla without that iconic score. And the same, also, to reflect modern times, can't do Avengers without Alan Silvestri.
No. Also, don't remake the song like you did last time. Please don't do that.
Who did it last time? Fallout
Boy.
Oh.
I swear this time around it's going to be Blink 182.
No, please.
That might actually be an improvement.
Hey, good point.
I mean, crying out loud, when they did the sequel in '89, yeah, they still had Ray Parker Jr. to open it up and close it, but then you also had Run DMC doing their version when they actually got back in business, and it's like, it's still being very familiar, but it was also mixing in a lot of hip-hop that was slowly coming into prominence in the late 80s, and it merged well for Ghostbusters. So, it's like we've been saying, honor the past, but allow the new version to be its own thing as well. We can have that happen. Onto something, I don't know if you'd call this amusing or heartwarming, but I was talking to Lids earlier. Oh gosh, dang ads! I hate it when they do this.
Who doesn't love a high-waisted moment? These have a zip pocket, which is
I don't care about your gym
perfect
pants. Go to the video. Right. Lids and I were talking before we went live this evening. How familiar is everyone with the YouTuber Mr. Beast?
I've heard the name, but I've never seen a single one of his videos.
I've subscribed to him, and I've seen a couple.
Well, what I'm about to show, because this actually made me subscribe to him, as you can see from the video title already, I ordered pizza and tipped the house.
What?
Yeah. It's one of those, I have to see this to believe it. Quite a big YouTuber based on the subscriber count that he has. I think he's got 27 million subscribers, so suffice to say the guy's not going short on money. But from what I've been seeing, very charismatic, does things, on his own dime, marches to the beat of his own drum. In this video, he orders a Domino's pizza, then pays him like a couple of $1,000 just to go furnish and fill this house with furnishing, appliances, and what have you. And at the end of it, he gives the key to the pizza guy. I know I've kind of spoiled things with that, but it's one of these videos, you have to see this to believe it, because he's kind of inspired me, because if I ever get that kind of money, whether it be off the lottery win this Tuesday. Please let my numbers come up. Please let my numbers come up. Please let my numbers come up. One thing I want to do, because this guy's kind of inspired me, I get that kind of money, I'm going to walk up to Oni's house in the future and say, hey, Oni, I bought you a car. What the fuck? But, you know, when somebody does something like this that inspires you, you know you've done something right. Is everybody at 0?
Well, let me get there right now.
Not yet.
I am at 0.
Aaron Isler just said, to borrow a quote, I'd tip over 12% for that.
All right, I'm here.
Okay.
All right, hold
Do
on.
the
Just be a little bit beware. On some of his videos, he has more than one ad in some places. So if you happen to see an ad pop up, just roll with it. Let it, you know, just push it through, and then we can get back to what we're supposed to be doing.
No problem.
It's got like 1, 2, 3. I got 5 ones that are lined up on my end.
Damn.
Same.
All right. You ready, Raiden?
Yep.
Lids.
Ready.
Kaiju.
Yep.
3, 2, 1, play.
I just bought this house and I'm gonna give it to Chandler.
Really?
No.
But I am gonna give it to a pizza delivery guy, and here's how. We ordered a pizza.
Damn it, you have to show Peter
Can
Parker.
I have a pepperoni delivery, please?
Then we paid a pizza delivery guy to help us move furniture all day.
We just need help moving furniture. If we were to give you a few $1,000s, could you just help us move furniture all day? Really?
All we told him is that we are YouTubers and we needed an extra hand moving furniture because our friend Chad got laid off and we really wanted to help him. But little does he know, Chad isn't real, and at the end of the day, we would actually give him 100% ownership of the house he is helping us move furniture into.
Great. Got him.
But what if he can't afford it?
He's going along with it. All he can
Stop
do
dabbing!
is $1,000 after we move all the furniture.
Yeah, leave that to annoying people like Soldier Boy.
Cheers. All right, to Walmart it is.
Hey man, don't hate on the dab. You gotta dab on the haters.
So, furniture.
So let's start in the bedroom.
Oh, baby.
What do you think of a chair like this?
It's a certain. Oh, and it's got air lumbar. Chad's lumbar do be needing air.
Chandler, what do you think of this?
Did y'all hear that?
Joey, can you give us the knock test? Yeah. See guys, this is why we brought Joey. He's incredible.
Is that wood?
I actually just bought my mom this TV.
What do you think of it, Joey?
It's a nice TV. Let's do it.
We have a TV.
It must pay to be a successful YouTuber to be just buying this stuff casually.
I know. I wish I could. I wish.
Me too.
Let's get this $500 TV. Yeah, no problem. No biggie.
TV, I want that Switch. Give me the PlayStation
So the total
4
is $2,360. Way less than I thought.
Still got the furniture.
$1,000?
We got a euro for this stuff for Chad's house.
Guys are idiots. I love them so much.
See, this is why we brought you, Joey.
Throughout the day, anytime Joey told us he liked something, I would go to a different aisle and I'd call Jake and tell him. Jake was in charge of covertly buying stuff, so when we surprised Joey with the house, we could have all this other cool stuff that means a lot to him in there as well.
Jimmy's calling me. Hey, what's up, buddy?
Barbie doll in there? Joey, is there something you want to tell us?
Okay, what you got?
I need you to get him the newest iPhone, a bunch of stuff for dogs, and then he had a monster sticker on his phone. So get him like 1,000. Get him 1,000.
1,000? All right, you ready, Marcus? We got it.
We got it.
Let's do it.
Oh, but we're getting him dog stuff. Can we get him a puppy?
Cat food. You say you need cat food, right?
He has a dog.
Add.
Alright, I'll pause.
Load it up.
Let's get all of them.
I paused at 2:35.
All right, let me pull it.
I think the ad I already skipped. So I'm at 242.
All right, scale yours back to 235, Raiden.
Okay,
Sure.
235. As soon as it's done.
This happens, folks. Sometimes ads pop up, you know.
Okay, I'm there.
Okay, everybody ready?
Yeah.
Yep, ready.
And
How are we
resume.
gonna get 1,000 monster?
Load it up.
He has a dog. Why are you
Let's get
getting him
all of
cat shit?
very important
Monster.
intel. Are you ready?
Yes, we're ready.
He has a 3-year-old daughter. Get her lots of toys.
Ooh,
Why are we buying him a bunch of
Perfect.
energy
Especially you're like
drinks?
ginormous and scary. You're the perfect guy for this. I'm
Yes.
seeing you. Bye.
Bye. Do we get her a playhouse or do we get her one of the really cool motorized cars?
You can't go wrong with getting both.
Well, let's do both then.
I think he's going a little overboard.
That's gross.
Blind.
Number 2. Some more furniture.
Hey.
Chris, this looks good.
Leather?
Oh.
Ultimate.
I want that.
Oh my god, get him the
Oh,
recliner.
I want it. I want it.
This is going so well. He has no idea. Remember,
already have a
right
recliner.
now
Yeah,
he's
say that
going
in
to
front
pick
of
up
him,
furniture for
you.
his own house.
So what do you think about this whole thing?
I think it's kind of cool. There you go.
That's so nice.
So next up, obviously, we need a bed for Chad.
Oh.
All right, I want it. So far, we're up to $2,400. I want to spend more money. And
Holy
that is store
crap.
number 2 down.
I want to spend more money, man.
How much toilet paper?
That's a wrap.
And we still have
Holy
Look at this seat. I hope they're happy. They should be. We got a lot of good stuff.
That's a long receipt.
What these done about to fall, boy.
Is that it?
That's it. Let's get out of here.
We're now at US Cellular because we could not buy a phone outright at Walmart, so we can surprise him with a new phone. We're doing a video, and we're gonna surprise a guy with a brand new iPhone 11. Everything here, need these, cool. Awesome, thank y'all so much.
So Joey's currently getting coffee.
They
He
just
took a
bought
little
an
detour,
iPhone
so we're
11
gonna
as
shop a little
well.
without him.
Before Joey gets back
Yeah.
here, how do you guys think it's going?
I think it's going good.
He has no idea.
He has no idea.
You think he'll cry?
I hope
might
so.
cry.
I think he's gonna break out into tears.
So you said you hadn't spent enough money yet, right?
Spent hardly anything.
So you're about to
He's so
drop a
happy.
lot of money here.
I dare you.
We want the set of the Maytags. You get this one. Got a tablet on it.
I blew hundreds of
Yeah,
thousands
oh
of
my-
dollars on dumb stuff.
Everything.
Man,
Got
if
speakers.
I,
Never mind, that explains
if I had
it.
the
Where
money,
is
I would
it?
buy that
Chris is now for
refrigerator
sale.
on stack.
You're $7.99. Yours
Chris
$1,500,
is
but
now
you're on
for
a
sale.
discount.
Yeah, it's because I'm kind of
$7.99.
broken on the inside.
So how much do you think this total is going to be?
That's like
Wow.
9,000.
We're at 55 with all that. We're
Swear.
gonna get a grill and a lawnmower.
I would
$2,800.
love to have a refrigerator like that, though.
The total is $9,586.
Tablet?
All the shopping is
Holy
done. Let's line up
crap.
and head to the house. You got it.
That's really
Bro, let us get
Take it home for
let us
Chad.
get that YouTube channel. We don't know what to do with that. money.
crap. I got another match.
I'm scared.
Oh,
Okay, hold on.
Yeah, I'm at 5 minutes.
that's a
That
good
is
start.
U-Haul number 1.
Okay, I'll stop.
Oh god. And that is U-Haul number 2.
I'll stop at 5:10.
Okay. You get another ad, did you?
Uh,
Alright. I'm at 5:10.
Okay, hold on. Let me get to that.
Sure.
I'm at 5:10 as well.
Okay.
Same.
Alright, in 3, 2, 1, resume.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
gosh,
U-Haul
dang
number
it.
1.
And that is U-Haul number 2. Now we need to fill the house up so we can surprise Chad tomorrow.
Gives me
Let's unload some
anxiety.
U-Hauls.
What are you looking for?
Some milk.
Just be honest, you might remind you Andrew
There's no
Garfield.
fridge, we gotta put it in.
A little.
bit.
Oh, go grab the fridge if you want.
Man, can I have those Oreos though?
Dude,
Same.
you got crumbs all over Chad's new countertops, man.
Good thing we bought paper towels and Clorox wipes.
This is a lot of stuff, and I know we have Joey here to help, but
thing
we
we
still
bought
needed
paper
more
towels.
backup. So I brought in Army. Come on in, guys. Assemble.
Imagine the
Set
people
up
at
this
Domino's
house,
still
and
waiting for
tomorrow we
him.
can surprise Chad.
I was about to mention that.
The box is breaking. Where am I going? Pull.
Jake, pull. Press.
We're bringing Chad here tomorrow at 9 a.m.
I would love to
so
have
we're gonna
friends like
surprise
this
him then.
to
We have to have
move.
everything
Movie
ready
jobs
by
be-
tomorrow
movie jobs
morning.
be
Chris,
annoying
you're in
as
charge of
hell,
the washer and
especially
dryer.
when
Chandler,
Really
you do
is.
what you want to do.
No.
Let's go, people!
What we have left is this beautiful fridge that I've been looking for my whole life.
This bad boy, 4,000 watts. It's got 20 lights in it, 4 cabinets, and a button. Let's get it off.
Do you want to come back tomorrow morning when we surprise him? Sure.
What is that button do?
They dropped this lawnmower.
Not to mention 1.21 gigawatts.
There's gotta be some milk in this
Does
fridge.
it,
For my
does
Oreos,
it
of
travel through
course.
time? Time traveling free. What are you doing?
Where's the milk? Where's the milk?
Dude?
My fridge comes with milk.
It's a new fridge. Why would there be milk?
Trying to put the fridge in the house, please. Just step back. All right, go on.
So we low-key called back his store.
There
His
is no
manager
milk. What are you
actually
doing?
drove out to the shoot, and he had this to say.
We told you the story on the phone. We ordered a pizza. Joey delivered it, and now he's just helping us move furniture. So, yeah, at the end of the day, we're giving him this house.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah?
You said Joey needed the house too, right?
Bruh. So could you tell us a little bit more? Because honestly, he hasn't told us much about his personal life.
When the kid's off, he works on side jobs all the time.
Really?
He lives in a place right now where the landlord's not too cool.
Joey has to drive an hour to work every day, and this new house we're about to give him is like 15
add
minutes away
again.
from work. I'm just really
Hold on,
he needs it.
I'll pause at 7:35.
Okay, hold on.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me get 7:35.
As like I say, folks, he does put a lot of ads on his videos.
Fine. I'm at 7:35.
Same.
Same.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Resume again.
I'm just really happy that he needs it, and this will genuinely change his life. Smart TV,
That's really nice.
65-inch, 4K, you know.
65 inch.
God, it hurt me! Ah! Ah!
In meters, that is very big.
You would love to have that thing to play video games. Hi, MJ.
Whoa, what is this? Oh! I didn't expect that to be in that many pieces.
You
Somebody
What would
else's
you do if you
problem.
had a TV like that, MJ?
Watching Knight Rider, Jurassic Park, and Spider-Man would be an interesting experience.
I call it desk a la abstract.
Oh my
What?
god.
The fuck?
You did that? That's you?
I read the instructions.
That
They
was
were
you
You clearly read it wrong. Wow.
It's been 14
Jesus.
long hours. We bought a house.
That's
Yeah.
a lot of
Cost
monster.
almost $100 grand. And then we spent tens of thousands of dollars on items for said house.
I spent almost 10 grand at Lowe's by myself.
Thank you. See, we weren't spending much. I'm proud of you. You get a raise.
Thank you.
That
Joey
console
goes
counts.
around all day, no idea that this house is his. We bought this house, and he is going to keep it forever. It is his. He's gonna walk through that door.
Wait, you already
and
paid
I'm
the
gonna
mortgage
inform
off?
him that this is in
You
fact
paid the mortgage?
his house.
Fuck.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Sorry about that interview. How'd it go?
It was alright.
Yeah.
Was it awkward?
Yes. You can tell something's up. We spent so much money on this furniture that we can't even pay the few $1,000s we promised because we put all the money into your house. So yeah, sorry about that.
Okay.
What?
house looks
Do you
nice.
not know what he just
What do
said?
you think of his house, Jake?
I think it's awesome. I think he's really gonna enjoy it.
What?
This is your what?
This is your house.
Oh, we didn't tell you? This is for you.
Yeah.
We were lying about Chad. This whole house is for you.
Chad doesn't exist.
Yeah.
That is awesome. You are Chad.
You are Chad.
So we know
Deep down, we're all
that you had
Chads.
A monster
Just
sticker
not
in your
Chad
phone, so
Warden.
We bought you 100 cans of
Oh
monsters.
God, no. No.
Some bitches.
We didn't know which brand. So.
Oh God, why?
We reminded you of your favorite thing,
Pizza.
pizza.
Oh wow, there's more pizza in the stove. Didn't even know that was there.
Did you
Pizza
have
time.
any
No, it's not.
No, you really didn't.
No.
We were getting kind of worried because Jimmy let it slip a couple of times. He's like, "Oh yeah,
Damn it, Jimmy.
At all. It is awesome.
oh yeah, we got a couple of extra things too. We should show."
We bought some toys because you mentioned you have a daughter, so we got her
That is
some
adorable.
toys too.
Wow.
And I know this must be out of nowhere, so I know it's a lot.
It really is. It is awesome. Yeah.
But it's all yours. Like
Oh my
this,
God.
this owl, yours. Do what you want with. it. You just throw it.
Just throw it.
Yeah, it's yours.
Oh my god. This is awesome.
All right, there's still more rooms. We don't know too much about decorating, but we assume this will be your room. So you said you liked hunting, so we got you hunting things. Here's
Don't show Oni this,
Oh, really?
lids.
Yes. Y'all are like making me like,
And here's the final room. I know.
No!
You mentioned you had a PlayStation, so got some PlayStation stuff. And
Oh.
a Switch.
oh my god. Y'all are amazing.
So we were talking to your manager out there, and he said that you are like an hour drive away from work.
Yes.
So this will put you in only like 15 minutes.
Probably not even that.
That's great to hear.
Oh, yeah.
Do you want to just say anything to the camera?
These people they're amazing. Like my body's shaking a little bit.
Oh god.
Oh my
Damn.
That's bad. We literally tricked you into decorating your home.
Get pranked. Would you have done anything different?
Stop dabbing.
I would be freaking
I would
out.
never asked for anything like this.
Okay. Like the house we were in.
Would be so awful if they were like, it's just a prank, bro.
I would have just.
Safer for my kids and better for our living. We tried to get a house done the day before y'all gave us this house. Honestly, I was going into this thinking I was just getting a couple $1,000s to help move furniture. Someone just really just gave me a house. Now we can stop worrying about where we're going to go from here. This is really just a great opportunity for me and my family. And I just want to thank you, Mr. Beast, for honestly answering all our prayers, because this is something amazing for me.
Here we go. This is your brand new house. Here is the key. I actually lied. I did have the key. It is yours. Seriously. No strings, no catch, no nothing.
That is awesome. You mind if I give you?
Yeah, of course, man. And there you have it. I bought a house, ordered pizza, and gave him said house. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram and buy merch if you want to be entered in to compete in the $1 Million Series. Goodbye.
I like that subscriber, I'll delete your Minecraft account.
No, anything but the Minecraft.
Oh, that's a blessing. Oh, no. What he could have did is like subscribe or I delete your Fortnite account.
Oh, Aaron.
No. It's like subscribe or I'll delete your Roblox account.
Aaron Izzard said, "Stop dabbing, guys. You're not 14, and it isn't 2016." Sean said,
Whatever, man. Just dab on them haters.
Sean says, "If I won like 2 million, half of it goes to my sister to say goodbye to her mortgage, have more time with her husband and her baby boy. It's something my dad would have done if he was still here." Aaron says, "Okay, these guys just gained a new subscriber." Yeah, like I say, I subbed to him earlier because I'm like, that's just freaking awesome.
Yeah.
In a world of Logan Pauls and Jake Pauls, don't be a Logan Paul, be a Mr. Beast.
Yeah.
I mean, I like how they're able to do something so entertaining, but they do it in a way whereby you think, you guys actually make YouTube worth coming to. Not that YouTube wasn't that way to begin with, but when you see something like this, you think, okay, I've just regained my faith in humanity. Bravo. Okay, Lids, thoughts?
I thought that was really charming. It's really sweet that he gave this guy who was down on his luck, working a dead-end job. Trust me, I sympathize with him completely. And giving him a house, and not just giving him a house with no furniture. He gave him everything. That's insane. And it's really nice. And I've actually heard of Mr. Beast. I've never seen any of his videos. I've heard about him that he's been doing a lot of philanthropy work and he does this stuff every once in a while. So it's like, okay, I like this guy, because it's like, he's silly and goofy with his friends, but he means well. And I like that. I appreciate that.
Raiden?
These guys are the type of person I want to hang out with whenever I need to move, and just the pure warmth and just all around goodwill. Just I don't know. I think after this whole thing is done, I'm just gonna rewatch it because it was so inspiring. It's so funny, you know. So, loved every bit of it.
Oh, I got another video of his. He takes over an entire car showroom and gives away most of the cars for free.
That's amazing.
Even gave away a Ford Mustang for free. I was like, wait, I need to get the DeLorean and go back to before he made this video. No. That one's mine. Kaiju, last but never least, what are your thoughts, man?
It felt like a very well put together video. It seemed like these guys genuinely wanted to do something to help a random stranger, and it seemed like they were just a bunch of dudes being, lovable goofballs with each other. And they were definitely very fun to watch, and the video itself was well entertaining, and it just has that very laid back, casual feel with a lot of very tight production values along with it.
Yeah. I can't even remotely try and do better.
I love games like
Damn
this.
it!
Like play, you can jump in with your buddies, have
no.
Go away.
I bought every.
What happened?
Shoot.
Going on to the next video where this was posted on August 29, and it just simply says, "I opened a free car dealership."
You have 2 cars.
He looks so happy in that thumbnail.
3 cars.
I'm just going to read a couple of more comments. No. The only other new comment is just Sean Retro saying, nice. Okay. This one's not as long as the last one, because I think the last one stretched out about 20 minutes. This one's only just going over 15 minutes, so I'll wait till you guys get set up, and don't be surprised if you have to click through a damn ad just to get through. He has a few in this one as well.
Yeah, he has, again, 3.
God damn, 40 million views. Jeez. This guy's on this guy's not on a whole other level. This guy's like a whole other galaxy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Away from the people like us.
Oh my god. He has another video called "I Opened a Free Bank."
Oh yeah, I need to check that one out later. It's like, hello, I heard you opened up for free bag. Can I have $1 million, please? Really, not a laugh from that?
No, I'll take it. Like, give me.
I mean, yeah, I'm like,
I'll buy $1 million Godzillas. Kaiju's like, okay, I sound nothing like that.
Why do I sound?
I'll buy myself all that shit.
I was about to say, why do I sound like Obi-Wan?
Hey, you still sound like Alec Guinness.
But you are the master of the Force, Master Obi-Wan.
He's got an army of clones.
Kaiju one Kenobi.
Now you sound like John Lennon.
It's been a hard day's night. I was working like a dog.
Okay, that
was terrible.
Oh no, that was good. Okay, I'm ready if you are.
Ready.
I've never even been to Liverpool.
Get out of here.
Okay.
Go home. Go.
Okay.
Get out of here.
And then just at this moment, MJ's like, fuck you.
Is everybody ready before we lose focus?
Yes.
3.
I don't know. It is your podcast. We simply just gotta follow your orders.
3, 2, 1. Let's go to his car dealership. Play.
I bought every single car at a car dealership.
Can we afford this?
I really don't know.
Well, that's reassuring.
And hey, so we talked over the phone?
The paperwork took forever.
So these are the 12 cars. I just bought them.
And now that I've spent over $100,000 on cars, I need to reprice them because they were way too expensive.
This car is $3, $7, $2. This car is $1,000 to buy, and this car is $4.20. Do not get
that Mustang's mine.
That's a great price.
This
$4.20.
car is $69. This car is my stepdad. $10. 99 cents. Not $99. This car is $9. That's expensive.
Oh.
This car is free, and this is one of the most expensive bad boys on the lot. It is $12.
$12?
So yeah, we own all these cars, and now we're giving them away.
100% credit, approved.
So we now have a car lot full of cars. I want
Nice
them
man
all
bun.
gone before the end of the day. So, man the phone, man the floor, man the phone, man the floor. I'll man the floor. You're gonna handle all the paperwork. You're on Chandler support. All right, guys, our car dealership is up.
You Mandalorian.
This is the first ever
That
Mr.
Mustang,
Beast
man.
dealership. As mentioned, the most expensive car in the lot is $13. We are ready to start accepting customers.
Let's do it. Buy my car!
We have a sale.
Yes! Come on in.
Coming in.
We have our first customers.
How y'all doing? My name's Chris. What brings y'all in today?
I mean, I got a big family, so I was trying to look for a truck.
We've got a nice Traverse right here. Third row seating, you fit the whole family in there. You want to know the price on that one?
Yeah.
Let's look at the window. $3, that's the price on that one.
No way. Come on.
$3
$3
cash.
everything.
Done.
Before you commit to this, you want to show them the other cars?
Yeah, just take a look at the other cars. 69 cents. It'll go anywhere.
You want to do a test drive with this one?
Sure.
We'll take the $3.
Oh, you'll take the $3 one? It is a little pricey. This is, on the higher end of the lot, $3.
How do you like it?
I love it.
Do you think you want it?
I will definitely take it.
All right, well, let's go do the paperwork.
Chandler, we ran a 33% off sale, so it's now $2, just so you're aware.
So we're gonna just give you the
Do you know what that paperwork is for?
No.
Okay.
Oh my
Where's the second
God.
paperwork? What kind of dealership are you running?
Very important. Go away. I'll handle this.
I did it. I made a sale.
Yes, man.
Y'all have a great one.
Enjoy the new car. And there we go. Bye. Chris, that was your first sale.
I did it. My mom's gonna be proud of me.
Hey,
A new customer is approaching.
Let's do it together. Friendship.
Hey, how are you doing today?
I just need something for my son.
He'll love
Good job,
this
boys.
Nissan.
You did it.
Nissan is bad.
Do you like the interior?
Congratulations, you done it.
Hi, my name is Wendy.
Oh, thank you, Wendy.
Professional vlogger.
She is. So, Wendy,
Okay, what
how
do
do
you
you
guys,
like it?
what hour are you guys
What do you
on?
think it's worth?
I would probably say 10, 12.
Because
Do you
an
like
ad
the number
played
12?
up.
Oh, it's an ad played up. All right, I'm at 252. Where are you at?
231.
All right.
Are we at?
231. Raiden had to go through an ad.
Okay, I'll pause.
Okay.
I'm at 305.
You're at 305, are you? All right. Lid, you back at 231?
Okay, let me get back to 231.
All right, I'll go back to 231.
Okay. I'm ready to go.
I'm ready.
Hold on, I gotta get to 231,
There.
and I'm at 231. Let's do this.
All right.
3, 2, 1. Resume.
Friendship.
Hey, how are you doing today?
I just need something for my son.
He'll love this
That
Nissan.
Nissan is
Friendship.
bad.
Do you like the interior?
What's your name?
Hi, my name is Wendy.
Oh, thank you, Wendy.
Professional vlogger.
She is. So, Wendy, how do you like it?
Okay, so far,
What do you think it's worth?
I would probably say 10, 12,000.
We like the number 12, but not 12,000. How about $12? Can you do that?
Huh?
$12? Is that fine?
Okay.
Look at
Nope.
this expression.
I feel bad for marking her up. How about $10? Is that fine? Okay, you'd rather work market 9. We'll do 9.
Wait, hold on. We should have a
Her
meeting.
We need to have a meeting. She's a good bargainer. Let's start off with 8. I'm willing to go down to 6. Anything lower, we walk away.
Okay, we'll do $5.
Yes.
$5 today.
Take it or leave it.
Cash.
That's this floor. No lower. I'm sorry. I'll give you $100. Just take the car.
You're going to give me $100
Yeah.
just to take this car.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, shit. Whoa.
Hey, I'm sitting in this car with 3 guys with these beast shirts on. Well, they want me to take this car, and they're going to give me $100 to take this car. You want the car?
All right, fine. We'll give you $100.
I like how he's
as well.
not so enthusiastic about
Okay.
yeah.
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 Oh,
Okay.
$500.
What the?
Whoa. All right. Whoa.
Are you serious?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you making me want to cry?
It's getting a little emotional with this car.
It is.
My throat is starting to get
I'm
clogged.
starting to tear up.
It's the sweat. I'm not crying, it's the sweat.
So $500 we give you plus the car. Let's go sign some paperwork.
Give her the car. Give the lady the car.
Overwhelmed, shocked, blessed.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
It got rid of 2 cars.
That was amazing.
Perfect.
That made me feel good. Let's do that again.
Don't
Let's play a game.
We got a new customer. We got a new customer. Go, go,
Everybody go! Everybody go!
How are you doing? I am Jake.
Alexis, nice
This
to
is
meet you.
our co-salesman, Chris.
I'm the owner. Hi, I own this place. I like Rubik's Cubes too.
Thank you.
Are you interested in a new car?
I am. I need something that has a 3rd row. I have 4 kids, and they have.
Really?
Wow.
Everyone has 4 kids.
My birthday
No,
is
4
September
kids.
1st. It's coming. So.
Oh.
Happy early birthday, free car!
Wait, no, hold on. Before you make decisions, I need it ran through me, okay? Hey, this is a very expensive video. Free car. I spent over $100,000.
Free car.
I'm also paying lots of people.
It's her birthday in like a week.
So now and it's just like, I've been spending a lot recently on videos, so I need you to, okay.
Happy birthday, you get a free car. Is it
Test drive, drive, test, drive, test, drive.
This is our first day running a dealership. How's the service?
You guys are awesome.
We did it, Jake.
We did it. And it didn't cost us $500 this time.
It did not. It cost Jimmy. Yeah!
Is he mad?
How do you like it so far?
Drives well.
I actually feel really comfortable. I like this seat. The check engine lights on, boys.
We said it was free. We didn't say it was perfect.
To be fair, I just thought
Oh,
of this
that's
today,
awkward.
And I never ran a dealership. I don't know what I'm doing.
We are back at the Beast dealership. Let's go inside and sign some paperwork.
So apparently Jimmy
How
tells
about we
me the check
have that
engine
car
light's
checked
on.
out
Let's
first,
crank
you
her up
boys?
and take
Come
a
on.
look.
Think.
Yep, so it says check engine. There is an engine in there. I checked the engine, it is in fact in there.
Oh, okay, here you go, man. The engine is in the car.
I know every
don't
I know
what
every
was
time
on
you,
about.
every
It's
I know
not
every time you see that Mustang,
You're the proud
you
owner of
just
the new
your
car?
eyes twinkle, MJ.
I'm gonna file this right here.
There's 3 people walking up right now, and as you know, we're Mr. Beast, so we're gonna be doing a last to leave challenge, because why not? All right, hey, how's it going?
You guys see this car?
We want to do a challenge. Last one to leave keeps it. Do you guys want to compete? We'll give you whatever you need.
I don't care.
You'll do. Have you guys seen our channel before? Just so yeah, have you?
I have your Instagram.
You guys are free to leave whenever you want. The last one to leave gets the keys to the car.
I stayed in one for 3 days one time.
Don't say that.
I'm not joking.
Oh my god.
We have new customers approaching.
The flood.
Got this. So we got the Lexus
You got another
right
ad?
here. So it's nice.
All right,
You
I'll
know how
pause.
Hang on. Where are you at,
What-
Raiden?
okay. I'm at 636.
Oh, it's not too far.
36. Okay.
Hang on, edit. Ah, there we go. Lids, where are you at?
There we go.
I am. Hold on 1 second. Shit. I think it's still going. I'm at 705.
Yeah, you might want to scale
wow.
it back to 636.
636.
Damn ads.
Well, I guess the ad's in a weird place because
Yeah.
at 636. I'm ready.
Okay.
All
3,
right.
2, 1.
New
Resume.
customers approaching. Have fun.
You guys got this. So we got the Lexus.
Be
right here.
continued.
It's nice. Do you know how much this car is worth?
It needs some to be continued music.
Jimmy, you want to help me, Mr. Financial Officer?
Oh wait,
I know
nothing
you
bad's
get
happening.
Chandler.
Never mind.
Chandler, are you throwing up? Aw. I tried to get Chandler to back up, but he was puking.
Got you. Must have watched the Morgs video.
I have nothing to do with this.
Oh my god. I'm going to England, Morgs. Come on, 1v1 me boxing match. Let's go. All right.
Really?
This car, 2.
Please don't do that.
$2 right out.
$2.
Okay, drive a hard bike. It's
$2. I just love the look on her face. $2.
Chris,
That's as low as we can go.
All right. 50 cents as low as I can go. Finance said.
I'm gonna go run it by our accountant. If he's done throwing up, I'll be right back.
Chris just did a 75%.
Ooh.
Are you okay?
I don't know.
Is 75% off okay on one of the cars? Will that bankrupt the company?
Probably.
Okay, good. Thank you.
50 cents. You got 2 quarters?
Yeah. No, I don't have 2 quarters, but
Didn't your daddy ever tell you to keep change on you at all times? You never know where you might be.
for real though.
Yeah,
Like, seriously.
for real.
50 cents.
50 cents.
Unless you don't like this car, we can go for another car.
Nah, I love this car.
Chandler's going home. He's sick.
Okay. Bye, Chandler. Dude, it's all these low prices we're giving. They're making him sick.
We're out of an accountant. Our other salesman is out doing a challenge. We're losing employees like flies. I need you to clear this lot pronto. Make it free.
What?
You can keep the 50 cents I gave you.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
Wait, what?
Stop playing, y'all. Stop playing.
Let's go do the
I'm playing, y'all.
See our new accountant.
How's the second page looking?
It's a crossword puzzle.
It's a crossover.
Yeah, you can take the car. Cheers.
Y'all, come on now.
Enjoy.
Y'all, I'm gonna be pranked when I get outside.
Nope.
Y'all stop.
So what's going through your mind?
I don't have. I don't know what to say.
They make me cry.
Did you know you were getting anything today at all?
No.
You were just buying a car.
Yeah.
Well, you got a 100% deal. 100% off deal. Well, congratulations, man.
Another satisfied customer by yours truly.
Damn.
Back in the car.
Aww.
Yeah, radios.
As you guys know, I have
Wait,
a brother.
what?
He actually recently started a channel called Mr. Bro. Well, it turns out he has 2
yay.
editors and they both don't have a car. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna call him and have him come get a car that he can let his editors share so they can come to work and edit.
Hey CJ, so like I told you, we bought all the cars at a dealership, and I remembered your editors need a car. So you want to come grab one to give them? Okay, CJ, pick whichever car you want.
$9?
No, that's $9,000.
$9,000?
You've got some Target
I don't have
receipts.
anything in my wallet, man. Beautiful. I have a free haircut. Does that count for
Okay.
anything?
Alright, so let's take out a car.
Because you're my own blood, I will give you this for $1.
This one?
Yeah.
Man, I don't even have $1 in my wallet.
Okay, it's free. Jeez.
I have no money, okay?
Get
Yeah, he's still there.
Chris,
It's free money.
my brother.
Get in here, please, and do paperwork.
Thank you.
All right, Marcus, this is my own blood, so take care of him.
Okay. Can you sign your name here? Shake on it. Here's a little sweetie, but I'm not used to spending this much money on a car.
I'm Chris. Nice to meet you.
Shamar.
Shamar? So, this is the one that caught your eye first?
Yeah, I actually caught my girlfriend now. I'm trying to surprise her.
You gonna surprise her with a Lexus? Have you heard about our special we got going on around here?
No.
See that number? That's the price. $10.
No.
$10. This is your Lexus if you give me $10. 20. Is that a tip?
Yep.
All right. This is my kind of man right here. Let's go inside. Let's get the paperwork done.
Come on, man. No, for real.
If he promised to take his girl on a date, pay for it, and then surprise her with the car at the end, he can have it for free.
Okay.
Can't beat love.
Are you doing it tonight?
Yeah, hey, if I can get it tonight, I will.
Well, as long as you're giving it to her.
Come on, man.
It's free?
Are you serious, man?
Yeah, I'm serious, man.
Come
It's
on.
a good car for free.
Man, oh my goodness.
How are you feeling right now?
I'm blessed and I know my girlfriend is gonna love it. She might propose to me.
Enjoy the brand new
Aww, that's
car.
actually kind of sweet.
We're gonna provide
Getting rid of all those cars.
for this video.
3 hours.
Why are we doing the car?
Oh my god, he can't even get up.
Oh no. Dude, what you doing?
Can you get
The hell?
I'm a little person, so it wasn't as bad as it could have been.
How things going in here?
Chris, we got another customer. All right, we will be right back. Sorry, we can't be slacking on the job. Very important.
Hey, welcome to the dealership. Which car are you interested in? We only have a few left on the lot. If you get this car, we give you $1,000.
Oh wow.
Do you feel like that's a fair deal? Okay.
Do you want to haggle a little bit, Chris?
All right. We'll give you the car for free and $1,100.
I think we pull the double whammy.
Give you
All right.
$1,000,
We hit it with the
okay.
And then when she shuts that down, we go with the $1,500 and seal the deal. After discussing, we got a new offer.
Okay, okay.
We give you $1,150 in a car.
$1,500. Take her or leave it.
There it is.
All right, man.
All right.
There we go. I did it.
This is hilarious,
Double
I
whammy
swear.
always works.
I'm about to pass something. Oh my god, it's going the wrong way.
Congratulations.
Aww.
Does that car have a full tank of gas? Add another $50. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
1550.
Oh my god.
How does it feel?
it feels like it's mine.
You just got a new car for
Oh, that's sweet. It feel like it's mine.
$1,500 and a full tank of gas.
I'm not gonna lie, that would probably be my mom's reaction if she got a free car.
Do you remember we bought a car with pennies?
There's another
That
car.
was a long time ago.
Man, I wish I had a new car. I got a new car.
Do you still like that car?
I do.
Yeah? You need another car.
I don't know. Do it.
Yes, Chris, we have another customer. We'll be right
Oh,
back.
another
This gentleman
car.
right here will help you.
Very nice to meet you, Cheyenne.
How about
Oh
that?
goody. Oh, it has. Oh, it added that cake. I like.
Forget about it.
I like
Does this
that.
fit your
I
budget?
like that.
Wait, did that just pop up?
Yeah.
All right, where are you at?
1232.
Oh, we're not back. Oh, that's not too far. I'm back at 1232.
Let's see.
Hold on, I gotta get back to 232. Oh, okay. I'm at
32.
1232.
Yep,
32 or 42?
32.
I'm at 32.
Okay, roll at 12:32.
52.
32.
22.
No, let's not make this confusing.
62.
You know you can't get that on a clock, right?
Watch me.
All right, guys. I'm 12:32.
Knowing you, you would find a way. All right.
Ready?
In 3.
I'm ready.
In 3, 2, 1, resume.
You like that car?
I do.
Yeah? You need another car.
I don't know. Do it.
Yes, Chris, we have another customer. We'll be right back. This gentleman right here will help you.
Cheyenne. Very nice to meet you, Cheyenne.
How about this car?
That's pretty nice. See that price?
Just forget
Oh,
about it. Does
I'm
this
saying
fit
that
your
about
budget?
the car.
Yeah, that looks...
Okay, you want to
That is
sign some
beautiful.
paperwork?
yeah.
$0, free. It's been a long day. All right. I don't want to get ripped off. I think we hit her with
Viewers,
the
if you don't know,
$300. I look forward
MJ
to
is
our
working
business
hard
partnering
for
together.
to
Okay,
work on a
$300,
time
take
machine
it or
so he
leave
can get that
Like,
car.
you're giving me $300
Yes,
and
to drive it off the
cool.
lot.
That'd just be silly. God, what are y'all...
I'm sweating.
And plus, that's of the 4th generation of Mustangs from 04 to 2014.
Can you sign it right here? But it has to be an Arial font. So
Can you give me an example of Arial font?
I'm not exactly sure myself.
Oh.
We're good. We're good. Congratulations, you got a free car.
It's really unreal. I'm still kind of trying to get out of the shock of getting something like that for free.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you. Oh my God.
Imagine her pulling up to her place and it's just like,
There she goes.
Yep.
This is true.
Whoa, what
Out
the
of
heck?
MJ's lie. What the
Kill me
hell?
if you get hurt. We didn't even talk about the price. That's okay. You can just drive it away. So here's the deal. We put him in the car and told him last to leave keeps it. We didn't say which car. So what we did was we pulled 2 cars up beside the middle car. Bada boom, bada bang. Then,
Bada bing, bada
technically,
boom.
They get another car, and they'll be the last to leave that other car. So everyone wins a car. We don't want to have any losers here, so we're just gonna give you all a car. Your new car is that one. You can have it. Really? Yeah, go ahead. No, get out of the car. No, you can get out of the car. That one's your car. Well, also, your car is right there. You can go get in it, too.
It's like, nah.
Let me have a word with my people.
Why can't people just take our good fortune?
Please do it, do it. She's getting out. She's been gone.
Yes, yes, she's...
Oh my God.
Because we want you to get this car, please.
Oh, she stepped out.
Yeah. All right, now get in your car. Yay!
You won it. All right, congratulations. You can drive off with your brand new car. Enjoy. This is your car. I mean, I don't care how you get in it. I just want you to know this is your car. We think you lost, so we keep this
He's
one.
trying to Dukes a hazard here.
Just, oh, confidence. She said my car.
Oh.
All right, well, yep, you're right. This is actually yours. So enjoy it.
But you really thought you were gonna lose the car.
like everybody gets a free car. You get a free car.
You can't believe it? Yeah. Congratulations, y'all.
And there you have it. We sold all the cars on the lot.
I need pay. I worked all day.
Here's a little bit of parking lot. Sweet. This video is very special to me.
Yay!
It impacted a lot of lives today. And I really want to continue doing stuff like this, which is why I need you guys to buy merch from shopmrbeast.com. Literally every dollar we make off this merch goes right back into the videos. I want to open a homeless shelter, plant a lot of trees, just do a lot of good things, but it's very expensive. Basically, I can't make an impact without your help. We need you to buy merch. Yeah! And to make it easier on you, we dropped a lot of new designs.
I'd
like
buy
this
merch,
one.
but I
Look
got
at
no
that
money.
sleeve. Oof, I love this one. And come here, Chandler. Ooh, this one's
Yeah,
just
the
simple.
holidays
It goes
is
with anything. And obviously
This
this
is like
hoodie.
next
I
week.
love it. And this isn't just cheap
Hey,
crap.
money.
It's actually very high quality, wouldn't you say? Yeah.
My nips are soft.
I really want to make an
Okay,
impact.
too much
I can't
information.
without it. It's comfortable. And all the money goes to doing good. ShopMrBeast.com. It'd mean the world to me if you bought something. Thank you.
Subscriber, I'll delete your Minecraft account.
You're gonna do it. You'll do it. You'll do it. You will do it.
It's like the good old days
I'm
of like
with
the National Lampoon magazine, like subscriber Fido gets it.
Oh, God. Everyone else says $21. That's outrageous. That's a $5 car at most. Someone tell the Grand Tour about this. The ads strike back. Kaiju, stop with the bidding war. You get a free car. You get a free car. You get a free car.
Everybody get the free car.
Imagine Oni shop. Ooh, pickup truck.
No. Back here.
But Liz, we got a pickup truck.
I'm not getting a pickup truck, young man. No.
But Liz.
My knees! Getting an SUV in that final.
I can imagine Oni just like, I want it. I want the gunpla. It's only $99.59. I just want it. I want it.
I want it.
I want it. Easy there, Vegeta.
Oh, that was a lot of fun. Again, not a great example of a philanthropy and a YouTuber actually doing something right. You know.
Mm.
I still want that Mustang. Damn it! Son of a bitch.
To quote Iron Man 1, MJ, next time.
Next time, baby. Yeah, it just won't be with you, Terrence Howard. It'll be with Don Cheadle.
No, goddamn motherfuckers. Kick me out of the goddamn MCU, bro. Goddamn.
Yeah, well, they traded Terrence Howard for Ice Tray. For those who know your Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, you know what I'm talking about.
That's a bit of a fair trade-up.
Yep.
So what I was hearing about Terrence Howard, it's like, you guys made the right call.
And Steve just says, not Mustang Sally, but Mustang MJ. Yeah, I could work with that. And like I say, that's from, the fourth generation from... Although it's an 05, it was released in late 04, because I noticed with a lot of car models, they'll have the specific year released the year before. Like when they released the prototype Chevy Camaro that they used as Bumblebee in the first Transformers, that was in 07, being released in late 2006. I don't know why they do it like that, but, it is what it is. All I can say with that video, love what that guy is doing. Clearly has got his heart in the right place. I wish more people, in real life as well as online, could be like this. And again, I just find that inspiring. If I ever get that kind of money, I'll probably show up at Wynn's house one day and just say, okay, here's the keys to the Mustang. What the hell?
And you get a Mustang, and you get a Mustang. Everyone gets a Mustang. What if we don't like Mustangs? Shut up! You shut your dirty mouth.
No, for Lidge, you would have the Eleanor Mustang. Those who watch...
first.
Yeah, I'll pay for that too.
Okay.
Raiden, thoughts?
This was very, very hilarious, and also really good to do. So, like you said, need more guys like him. I mean, and it's it's like what Kaiju said. When there is a Jake Paul or I don't know who else the brother is because they don't exist to me. There's Mr. Beast, so there's more. We need more people like him.
Lids.
I did enjoy that video, and good on him for giving away these cars to to deserving people. And yeah, just it's it's funny watching these people like say like, oh, you get a car, like, oh wait, here it is for free. What? It was really nice, and also the fact that he's using his merch sales to pay to do these nice things.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that. I respect that.
Well, he's probably at a level financially where he's covered and set for life. So anything extra he makes, he's like, nah, give it back to the people. So yeah. Kaiju, thoughts on this one?
Second verse, same as the first. Great content, great personalities, very nice bit of charity work done for these guys. I can bet you this is gonna do very well on their what do you call it, their tax accounts.
Oh yeah.
And given the large amounts of charity they're doing here. And overall is very slick presentation and made for a hilarious experience.
I've noticed Chandler seems to be the butt of their jokes at the moment.
Oh, poor Chandler.
And of course,
I mean, his name is Chandler. You do the math here.
Yeah, of course, that show turned 25 this year.
Oh wow, yeah.
And the people are complaining about on Netflix saying, "Oh, it's not very sensitive to millennials." Shut the fuck up! It was made back in the 90s when people understood humor.
Amen.
Although, as much as I love that show, I found that whenever they were stuck for a gag, they would reuse Ross's line of "Whatever, man, you kissed a guy," and it's just like, really, dude?
Oh.
Also,
and don't even get me started on the fat shaming on that show.
Yeah. And,
oh, good lord.
Yeah, what they did to Monica in the early years. Ooh.
Yeah, they were. Also, here's the thing. I don't get why it gets shitted on.
No.
It was like maybe because it's like, oh, I don't get the jokes, blah blah blah. But I don't know. It grew up in the '90s. There it is. But if I can say the superior show, it'd be Living Single, I guess. So I don't know.
Although probably one of my more favored moments is when Joey, of all people, puts 2 and 2 together that Monica was seeing Chandler. He just goes like, "Huh? You?" And they're like, "Oh shit, he's figured it out. How? Help, what do we do?"
See, this is why Joey's an underrated character. It's like, you never know what he's going to do. It's like in the same aura as Ed from Ed, Edd n Eddy.
Yeah. Joey's not the quickest one of them, but his heart's in the right place. He's a goofball, but he does anything for his friends. And of course, there was the one episode where Rachel had her thunder stolen, and Chandler had an incident.
Oh God!
And where he goes, and he's like going to Joe's like, it's like, don't worry about it, man. Happens all the time. Did it happen to you? Yeah, once. He goes, yeah. What'd you do? Did it anyway. I'm like, okay. And the bit where Joey thinks that they're talking about Chandler and Monica's incident, and then what they really talk about is Ross and Rachel getting back together. And that was the thing that got irritating for a while, is that it was like the Mulder and Scully thing. Will they? Won't they? Will they? Will they? You feel like just go into the TV screen. It's like, will you two just figure it out already? Pick one. And they keep talking about possibly doing a reunion episode. I think if they're going to do one, they need to do it soon. And I'm saying this from a lot, from an objective standpoint, with the lone exception of Matthew Perry, David Schwimmer, especially Jennifer Aniston. I don't know what that woman is taking, but she is aged extremely well. Courtney Cox and Lisa Kudrow, they've not aged so well.
To be fair, Courtney Cox has probably had a lot of work done that could affect your skin.
Whereas you look at David Schwimmer, like with Matt LeBlanc, the distinguished look actually suits him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of does.
With the gray hair. He looks like well distinguished.
But yeah, if they are going to do a reunion episode, they need to do it soon, because I think some of them. I think it's probably Jennifer. I think she's coming close to 50.
Wow.
And I remember somebody doing like this comparison episode, this sort of comparison picture. I think it was like done between Kim Kardashian and her, where it says Kim Kardashian in her early 30s, undesirable, yet they look at Jennifer Aniston, nearly 50, and looks 1,000 times better. And I'm like, well, you're not wrong on that one. Because here's the thing. Kim's a beautiful woman, but she's not Jen. That, and also because Jennifer Aniston's actually Greek descendant as well.
Oh.
Yeah, because I think her full last name's like something along the lines of Anistonis, which, you know, because same thing with Trish Stratus, she's of Greek descent. That's probably why.
I did not know that.
Yeah. Trish is Greek Canadian.
Oh, okay.
Which again explains why she doesn't look her age at all. Well, that, and you know, she looks after herself, eats right. The only thing is, you'd think yoga would age her, because yoga, apparently that is the only drawback with yoga. It does age you a little prematurely. But no. Alright, we can say those two are done. Onto something else that's probably I suppose uplifting in some sense. There was a Grease reunion between John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John called a Grease and Meat reunion, which I thought, okay, that's clever. John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John reunited as Danny and Sandy from Grease. This marks the first time the duo have been in costume as the characters since they made the movie in 1978. Newton-John wore Sandy's yellow skirt with a white blouse, while Travolta wore all black with a leather jacket. The two were spotted both wearing leather jackets. Newton-John and Travolta took part in the Meet and Grease sing-along event at the Coral Sky Amphitheater in West Palm Beach, Florida on Friday evening. Olivia Newton-John was very excited about the reunion, even though she and John Travolta are still very close. She posted an image of the two on social media and said, "First time in costume since we made the movie, so excited. Fans of Grease will be happy to see that Newton-John, who has been battling cancer, we're thinking of you, Olivia, and Travolta look pretty much like they did in 1978. Yeah, Travolta's aged well." In addition, reviews of the event praised Newton-John and John Travolta for still being able to deliver the high notes when singing the world-famous songs from the movie. Olivia Newton-John got on stage to perform Hopelessly Devoted to You, love that song, while John Travolta sang Sandy. He later joined the male chorus in a version of Grease Lightning. In case fans in Florida want to see the Meet and Grease event, there is an event tonight in Tampa. This is for December 14th, so this is yesterday, and Jacksonville on December 15th, so today. So far, the response has been overwhelmingly positive for the Grease reunion. Last month, Olivia Newton-John auctioned off the leather jacket she wore in Grease to raise money for cancer research. A fan bought Sandy's leather Grease jacket for $243,000 and promptly returned it to the actress. Wow. The leather jacket is now on display at the Olivia Newton-John Cancer and Research Centre in Melbourne, Australia. This is the third time the actress has battled cancer after beating it twice over the years. Newton-John...
Damn.
Yeah, she's made of some strong stuff. Newton-John is still in great spirits and is fighting it again with a positive attitude. Again, Olivia, we're thinking of you. John Travolta recently had this to say about Newton-John's latest battle. She's doing great and she looks fantastic. I'm so proud of her. I mean, have you ever seen anyone look like that? Grease hit theaters in 1978 and quickly became the biggest big-screen musical of its time. The Grease soundtrack went on to become the second highest selling album of the year, while John Travolta's Saturday Night Fever took the #1 spot thanks to the Bee Gees. There is currently a Grease prequel called Summer Nights in the works, which will be about Danny and Sandy's summer romance. Travolta and Olivia Newton-John are still close after all these years and make sure to get together when they can. We were together not that long ago, but 3 months ago, and we text each other all the time, said Travolta in a summer interview. You can check out the Grease reunion below, thanks to Olivia Newton-John's Instagram account. Well, I think that's awesome that they went and did that. And the fact that the winning recipient handed Olivia Newton-John's jacket back. Wow. And the fact that she's battling breast cancer again. That really does not know when to just admit defeat. But Olivia, if you did it once and you did it twice, you can do it thrice. We're thinking of you.
Mm-hmm.
Lids, thoughts on the reunion and the fact that Olivia's facing it for a third time?
I mean, it's sad that she's having to fight cancer again, but kick its ass, Olivia. That's all I gotta say. But it's really nice that she's getting together with John Travolta. Say what you will about the guy, but he does care about for the most part, care about his fans, and also he cares about his friend, and that I can respect.
Kaiju?
Yeah, same thing here. It's a very worthy cause to do all of this for the sake of charity.
Raiden?
Amazing stuff. I mean, it's a movie that's a cult classic, and in fact, doing a reunion, that's always good to see. You know, good people in good spirits.
Awesome. This is not part of the usual lineup, but I'm looking on movie news. New Sonic the Hedgehog TV spot gives The Rock a shout out and he responds. Okay, I
saw that on Twitter.
I need to have a look at this. I'll just pop this in just so you can see it. The new Sonic the Hedgehog TV spot features new footage and a reference to Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's presidency. Johnson has a lot going on at the moment with Jumanji: The Next Level opening at #1 spot this weekend at the box office. However, he took some time out of his day to recognize the little blue hedgehog on social media. The studio seems to have made the right decision with the redesign and a new release date. What year is it? At The Rock President? In the latest look at Sonic the Hedgehog, we see the iconic video game character in all sorts of action. It's a really good look at the upcoming movie, and at one point Sonic could be heard asking, "Where am I? What year is it? Is The Rock president?" Dwayne Johnson has teased a possible presidential run for years now, and if anybody can pull it off, it's Johnson. The studio made sure to tag Johnson in a tweet, which caught his attention, and he responded and had this to say. It's like, so crazy. I used to love playing Sonic in college. Many moons later, this life can be so damn wildly unpredictable and surreal at times. Oh, Rock is a Sonic fan. Awesome.
Hey.
Cool.
Nice. Dwayne Johnson finished up his response with mind blown emoji. One can tell that the actor is very happy to where he is in life and is humble about it. Jumanji: The Next Level exceeded box office predictions by at least $10 million this weekend, and Johnson is on top of the world. Now one of his favorite video game characters is name-checking him in a new national TV spot. It's nice to know that even people in Johnson's position can still get excited about certain things like that. As for Sonic the Hedgehog, the fans are now rallying in the movie's corner after the recent Sonic redesign. When the world was treated to the original look, it almost broke the internet. No, it broke the internet. Big difference. Sonic did not look like his video game and cartoon counterparts. Instead, the studio went with the idea to give the hedgehog human features, which was actually quite creepy. Did it deserve all the backlash it received? Probably not, but that's the way it works these days. So the studio went back to the drawing board. going back to redesign Sonic the Hedgehog after the first trailer had been released was a gamble. Fans could have easily bashed the new look too, but for the most part it seems like video game fans are now excited to see the movie. As for if it's any good is still anyone's guess, but it does look promising. Regardless, we know Dwayne Johnson will be checking out at some point. You can check out the new TV spot thanks to the Sonic the Hedgehog Twitter account, and you can see Dwayne Johnson's response below. So crazy, I used to love playing Sonic in college. Many moons later, this life can be so wild and damnably unpredictable and surreal at times. Blown. I'm just gonna check the response. Have a look. Steve says, oh boy, just found something to cover next year, methinks. I think he's saying something with regards to Sonic. I'll have to check that out in a little bit. Well, first of all, Lid, what do you make about Rock actually responding to that?
I mean, it's awesome. It's like I'm glad that he gets the joke and he actually has a sense of humor about it. The fact that he's a Sonic fan and he got shouted out by Sonic, I'm like it's a strange time we're living in. And also for him running for president, I would 100% vote for him. President Rock.
Can you imagine
That's like a comic book, but
Can you imagine one of these days, let's just say for the sake of discussion, you have Rock and Austin running against each other for presidency?
Oh my god!
That'll be good. That'll be good ass TV.
Just watching the debate is just in a wrestling ring.
They headlined 3 WrestleManias. Now they square off one more time in the political ring. Rock, Austin, the battle for presidency, and it's only live on pay-per-view.
I can only imagine how the presidential debates will go.
Oh god!
Every time Rock tries to talk, what?
Could you imagine his victory speech?
Oh my god! Just his music playing out as he's walking out to the podium. Finally, The Rock is back to run America.
Oh god! Could you imagine if Austin got in and he starts having trying to have diplomatic discussions with foreign leaders? Like, oh no!
Oh god, the what chant would be everywhere. What?
Oh my gosh, that'd be Oh, Raiden, thoughts?
Honestly, it doesn't surprise me since The Rock is very interactive with, anything that tickles his fantasy, and of course he gets mentioned, blah blah blah, and his fandom comes out. So good on him for that. It's like, I respect that.
Kaiju.
It reminds me a lot of that time when Captain Marvel made a reference at Kevin Smith's Mallrats, and he responded acting incredibly grateful that the MCU would go out of their way to reference him. It's I can imagine how heartwarming it must feel, or how amazing it must feel to have something that you were a fan of once now making references to you, because that kind of shows how far you've come as a sort of pop culture icon, that other people would want to give you the spotlight or a name drop. So yeah, I can only imagine how cool this must be for him, and I'm very happy for him, and he responded in the most classiest way possible.
Yeah, and it's actually refreshing to see a celebrity be so humble about it. It's like, whoa. And like I said, I'm just real surprised that, he's a Sonic fan. I've pegged Rog for a lot of things. I never thought he'd be a fan of Sonic.
you pegged him as a Super Mario fan?
The Super Rockio Brothers? I could see it.
Dun, 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 dun. Sorry.
Well, it's better than the idea of the Super Lesnar Brothers. Long story. I'll get this
No.
out at the time.
I know.
What?
No. It's a gag and a reference from me and Oni during season 3 of RDR, where right during the SummerSlam 2012 preview, when I was doing the build-up for Triple H versus Lesnar, I was trying to do my build-up, and Oni was playing Paper Mario in the background on his Nintendo DS.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And even like one of the panelists like, Oni, can you turn it down? This is making it weird. And in the season finale, like a week later, he starts opening up by doing the Super Mario Bros. Thing, and I just simply, and you can hear me say this, and then I just go, I fucking hate you. But it's Oni. What more is there to say? Lovable goof, but good lord, he can be untactful when he wants to be. And Liz would know because she and Oni are a thing.
Yes, we are.
Now, on to an article that Raiden submitted for this week, and I know this will be of interest.
Get the donkey sound effect ready.
Alright, let me go pop this in.
Yes.
Power Rangers reboot in development will be set in the 90s. This comes from comicbook.com. There's a new Power Rangers film on the way, set to try and set the course straight for the fan-favorite franchise. According to a new report from THR, Paramount is rebooting the franchise with a new feature from Jonathan Entwistle, or Onwhistle, I don't know if the T's silent, creator of Netflix's End of the Effing World. Unlike the... I know. Unlike the 2017 reboot of the same name from Lionsgate, the new Power Rangers film has found a home at Paramount and is set to feature a time travel element. Oh dear. Which will take the characters back to the 1990s. Patrick Burleir, Peter Rabbit 2, is currently writing the script. This will mark the first film for the franchise after being purchased by Hasbro last year. At the time, the toy giant reportedly purchased the iconic brand for a staggering $522 million. Wow. The latest film in the franchise, Dean Israelite's 2017 reboot, was a critical and commercial flop. Yeah, it was. Developed by Lionsgate, it was initially set to be the first of a franchise before going on to gross just $147 million worldwide, $85.36 million of which came domestically. This iteration of the Power Rangers franchise will just be another notch on the belt of movies produced with Hasbro and Paramount. The two companies have recently relaunched the Transformers franchise with Bumblebee and are currently working on Snake Eyes and seriously, they're gonna make a movie out of Snake Eyes. And
I'm happy. I'm happy.
Okay.
That's my
Too bad we didn't get Ray Park.
Okay. Despite being under Hasbro for a short time, Brian Golden, chief executive for the toy maker, explained earlier this year he was pleased with the toy line's performance in the marketplace. Sure, while the launch of Power Rangers is starting up in North America, Goldner said, the line launched there. We had some products ship in Q1, but limited. It will roll out in the subsequent quarters, both in North America and around the world. I'm very pleased with the ratings of the new show. It's a ratings leader in its time slot. It's offering a very strong lead out. And Nickelodeon's been a very good partner in helping us to market the new series. The team has done a great job in producing this transition from Saban to our own studio. Has been seamless, and I give the team a lot of credit for producing such a high quality show that's really beloved by kids and improved in a number of ways from the last production. So we're obviously very excited about Power Rangers, not only for this year, 9 months, but for 2020 as we have a full year impact. So very good there. On Whistle is currently helping Netflix develop I'm Not Okay With This, another teen-driven show for the streaming giant. Okay, so let's see. Reboot, and they're going to do a time traveling element that's going to take things back to the 90s. Well, it's not the first time in Power Rangers that they've done time travel before. I mean, they did it I think they did it at least twice during season 2 of Mighty Morphin, where the characters went back to the 1600s of Angel Grove, and then Kimberly going back in time to the Wild West of Angel Grove. So
Yeah.
it's not completely out of the ordinary. And then of course then there was the Zeo quest, where their child versions of themselves went into different pasts of of their ancestry, some with Rocky's grandfather, some of which was of Tommy's Native American ancestry, and Aisha going back to her family ancestry. So it's not anything new that we've seen from Power Rangers before, so we'll just have to wait and see. I think if they get the right people involved that understand the franchise but know how to take it in the right direction going forward and modernizing it, as Wen once said, the proof in the pudding is in the eating. I'm going to need to see a trailer and and a cast list where I look at and think, do I want to see this, or will I give this another chance? Because there have been 3 theatrical movies for Power Rangers, and only 2 of those were in the 90s, because the 2017 reboot was the first one to be done in the 21st century. So we'll just see how it will go. I mean, they may go for a completely original concept where it's nothing relating to anything of Super Sentai, nothing relating to what's gone of Power Rangers before in the TV series, because we've already had 2 versions in essence of the Mighty Morphin era. One is obviously just an alternate reality of the original TV series, and the other one is a modernized Mighty Morphin version, as Kaiju has pointed out. Although people love Mighty Morphin, it hasn't aged well. There are things about it that, I mean, we look back at it fondly because we appreciated it for what it was in the 90s, but you try and work that today, and although they're good characters in the show, they came across as too wholesome, and teenagers are not that wholesome today. I mean,
they were never that wholesome. Let's be honest. I was never that wholesome.
I mean, if you want to take a real reality-ish type when it comes to teenagers, check out. I mean, look at Saved by the Bell.
Yeah.
Even though, and sorry about this, Zach Morris is trash.
Yeah.
I think ideally what I would like to see a blend of, with regards to, I suppose attitude is the best term to describe it. I'd like to see a balance of what they were in Mighty Morphin, but blended with that of Dino Thunder, because Dino Thunder's Power Rangers, there was a lot of attitude with them, but it'd be nice just to have that balance where there's attitude, but they do the right thing. It's just that nice balance. I felt like with 2017, there was too much attitude. But
they tried, yeah. Aside from Billy, they tried. Aside from Billy and Jason, and Kimberly, I feel like they overdid with a lot of the character arcs. Like, Trinity's gay. Zach is taking care of his elderly mother. I feel like they overdid it with the characteristics and just the overall tone of it.
I think what I liked particularly with Dacre Montgomery's version of Jason, even though he's starting out as a jock, you can see there's already character in him, because when he's saddled with having to do detention at the weekend, he said, I'm not going to sell my friends out because you wouldn't get it. even though there's that rebellious side, you can already see there's integrity with him. You know, you don't sell your friends out. And I thought, okay, you got a good starting point with that. But, you know, for all we know, they may go for something completely original for this new version. I don't know what they've got planned. But like I say, I want to see a trailer at the very least before I can make any kind of executive decision. Raiden, what are your thoughts about that, and where do you see it going?
Honestly, I'm very anticipative of it. And what was that other question you asked?
Where do you see it going?
Honestly, I see it going in a route that Boom Studios has done with Power Rangers as a whole. Like, they made what I really love of what Boom Studios did, aside from the original Mighty Morphin, is that they gave all the characters traits that you can easily identify. Like, you know, especially with Tommy, like, there is a chance like he's now on the team, but in a sense, half the squad doesn't trust him. Kimberly has her own things with her parents going to divorce. Zach is having his own crisis, especially how he was. And sorry for spoil, but he was kind of sort of supposed to be the original evil Green Ranger, and I really like that little plot point. And so I kind of want this new planned film to have that route that the Boom Studios version of Power Rangers has. Like, give everyone the character traits, but don't overdo it. Like, have it go like organically. That's my main thing. Like, if you force a narrative on me, like, you already saying, okay, we don't care what you do, we're gonna do what we want. Like, it's very, what's the word? Disingenuous.
Yes.
So what I'm hoping with this is that they get the right people. I mean, so far they kind of sort of do, but I hope they get more right people and more people that knows the mythos known as Power Rangers, and not like overdid it like they did with the 2017 one. So all in all, I'm very looking forward to this. I really want to see Power Rangers at the forefront with a real life tone instead of just overdoing it. So hopefully what they're doing with this, they hit the mark, because I really want to see this win. And I really want to see Power Rangers get that film treatment that you see in a lot of fan projects like Power Rangers Unworthy. You know?
Yeah.
So that's what I want. So that's how I see it.
Aaron Izzard says, sorry, MJ, but when you said that, all I could think of was Goodfellas. Never rat on your friends, and always keep your mouth shut. Nice. Lids, what do you make of it?
I'm a little interested. Let's see where they go with it. Because, to be honest, yeah, I will agree that the remake version of that movie, you want me to be honest, it's really bad. I mean, there were good parts of it, but it's like, that Megazord, man, come on.
Trash. We're not going back to that.
Started on Goldar. What the hell was that?
Gold teeth.
I'm glad that they're giving this franchise a new coat of paint, and setting in the 90s might give it a little bit more of a feel. I mean, everybody's getting a little tired with the whole 80s rehash kind of thing. Maybe a trip to the 90s wouldn't be such a bad thing.
Just saying. Kaiju?
I'm not really sure what it is that I want to do with the whole time traveling plot in the 90s, because it's like, is this supposed to be an origin story? Are they from the 90s? Are these teenagers that are going to the 90s? Why the 90s? I mean, obviously they want to infuse some of that 90s nostalgia from people who grew up in the Mighty Morphin Zordon era days, but what is it about the 90s that's so important that they need to make a movie about the 90s? Because I don't know, as much as people tend to think of Transformers with the 80s and Power Rangers with the 90s. I don't think it's that essential, really, beyond just nostalgia pandering. And plus, I don't know, it just feels very weird. Like, if you're going to do a reboot and this is like a brand new origin story, I'm not sure if it's a smart idea to start off with time travel right off the bat. Because it's not like Back to the Future, where this is a franchise about time traveling.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, I did appreciate in the 2017 remake that they actually gave you a little history lesson before everything happened. So I'm just hoping like you get more with this, and I don't know. Hopefully it'll be a whole new team set of people we know. No Zach, no Billy, no Kimberly, no Trini. Like do things different in a sense instead of just like Mighty Morphin. Like that's something.
I can see an adaptation
of what I want.
I can see a light speed rescue adaptation happening.
That'd be
cool.
cool.
I can see that.
Ooh,
that'd be cool.
I like that. I mean, okay, aside from all the demons and all that shit, I mean, Lightspeed Rescue in a sense was very realistic, especially how it's very very rescue based.
And also because Carter Grayson was an absolute badass.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I know that Linkara was particularly praiseworthy of him, you know, in his history of Power Rangers. Like, and what I love best about it, Carter Grayson being a badass.
Yeah, he just give him a bottled water and a gun, and he'll be fine.
I like the fact with that particular Red Ranger, you know, it's like a at the time when it was done around 2000, 2001, it was like a modern version. Yeah, it was like a modern version of Jason. Very dedicated to duty, very much down the middle, and always looking out for your teammates. I did like that.
And the actor itself, he looked like I know he's younger, but he looked like an adult.
Yeah, and he's definitely aged gracefully. He still looks about the same.
It's like with people like Rob Lowe, Robert Downey Jr., you know, as we mentioned earlier, Olivia Newton-John and John Travolta. You get some people that, like, I'm not going to age, you know, or if I'm not going to age, I'm going to age very slowly. Because in a similar vein, like we mentioned earlier, with the likes of David Schwimmer, Matt LeBlanc, and Matthew Perry, they've aged very, very slowly, to the point. The only thing you could say that's different about them is they've got, you know, a distinguished streak of silver lining around the sides of their hairstyles, and that's about it. Whereas you look at someone like Meg Ryan. Now, I love Meg Ryan, don't get me wrong, but girl, you should never have gone near that plastic surgeon's knife. I mean, what have you done to yourself? I mean, you look at her in Top Gun and When Harry Met Sally, you look at her, and me and Liz can appreciate this and be like, hey, how you doing? Whereas now we go and say, yo girl, what you doing? I mean, there are some people plastic surgery works for them. Demi Moore is one of the very few where it's actually worked for her. Because if you look at how she was in Charlie's Angels, Full Throttle.
Oh God, yes.
You know, this was a woman coming up for 40, and I think the only comparison that I can give that people of this generation will understand, she has a very youthful look to that of Nikki Bella. Now, for context, not Nikki Bella's greatest fan, never will be. I think her personality's garbage, you know, but just rating her on her looks alone, she's a beautiful woman. She's got a very sultry look, and, you know, has a figure that most women would kill for. Her personality? Oh, fuck no. No. Wouldn't touch that with a 1,000-foot pole. And Raiden like, damn, that's a long pole.
Yeah.
But, I mean, another one you can use as a good example that's aged well. Jennifer Connelly.
Ooh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you look at her from, say, Hulk 2003, which, by the way, I checked out Oliver Harper's retrospective on that movie. I actually look at that movie from a slightly different perspective. It's still trash. But after hearing what he had to say, I look at it with a little bit more of appreciation. But still a bad movie. Jennifer, look at her there, and then you look at her in Alita Battle Angel. It's like it's only like 6 or 7 years with the way that she's aged very gracefully. So, yeah, like I say, you do get some that age particularly well. And, going back to Power Rangers, look at Amy Jo. That woman's coming up for 50. And she looks like she's, barely in her late 30s. But she is a former gymnast. So she still has that discipline about her. And let's be fair, how many people, how many guys watch the first season, partially just to be a fan of Kimberly?
Guilty. Definitely.
And I love Catherine. Don't get me wrong, but Kimberly had a lot more gusto with regards to her taunts and when she put her kicks in, whereas Catherine, she felt a little too reserved. Like she was purposely holding back a little. Not that that's a bad thing, but, she was a different Pink Ranger. And most of us think of Tommy and Kimberly as ROTPs.
Yeah. The fact that Kimberly gave him a Dear John letter, I'm like, no, why would you do that?
I mean, I think that was more of this. When I say Saban, I refer to the studio, not the owner itself. I think that was just the way of the studio just having closure with that, because I don't think in the story Kim would have done that, but I've been proven wrong before. Just to give you folks a little heads up, Wynn is going to be joining us, but it's a simple case of she gets here when she gets here. One article I want to go into before we go to Kaiju's offering for this evening, and I know this is going to please the random in particular as well, should he ever listen to this. This comes from MovieWeb. J.J. Abrams wants original, unaltered Star Wars trilogy released.
Oh, good luck with that!
J.J. Abrams wants Lucasfilm to release the original Star Wars trilogy theatrical cuts. The Rise of Skywalker director is not alone with these feelings. Don't mind me, folks, there's some stuff going on in the background. Star Wars fans have wanted Lucasfilm to release the unaltered trilogy for decades now, and they have been very vocal about it, though not as vocal as the Snyder Cut team. With that being said, Abrams wants to see what he saw in theaters when he was a kid, not the McCluckany dialogue or Jabba the Hutt slithering through A New Hope. The Rise of Skywalker opens in theaters next week, and J.J. Abrams is out promoting the final installment in the sequel trilogy. Abrams was asked about the original Star Wars trilogy theatrical cuts and admitted he wants them to be released, and went as far as to say that he had approached Lucasfilm about it. This would be a dream come true for diehard fans, but it doesn't look like we should hold our breath on. J.J. Abrams had this to say: "I've asked this because who wouldn't want to see that, but I've been told that for reasons that I don't quite understand, that's not necessarily possible. Which is too bad, because that was the thing I loved. In fact, It's funny, when we were working on The Force Awakens, we were talking about this one scene with Vader and the Emperor, and we were having a disagreement about what was said. In a way, it was like we both felt crazy, and we realized we were talking about two different versions, because there's the despecialized version, which you can see online. Someone got me a version, and there was an official version. There was the original theatrical version, and then the version that people see now. One has to wonder what exactly those reasons are that J.J. Abrams does not understand. The director knows a thing or two about the movie-making process, and he has made some pretty successful movies. So what about the original Star Wars trilogy is so baffling? Have the original theatrical tapes been destroyed or recorded over with new embellishments? It just seems strange that Abrams doesn't get there, though it could be for some other reason entirely, like George Lucas having it in a contract. Disney Plus would be the ideal place to have the original unaltered Star Wars trilogy. It really seems like a no-brainer, but it isn't going to happen. I guess it's what George Lucas wanted, and that's what he did, so I respect that, says Abrams. The director continued by stating, although I feel like there's something about the original theatrical version that was, for so many people, the thing they loved, as it was. It's obviously what George Lucas wanted, but it has gone further than just angering Star Wars fans. The altering of A New Hope is what reportedly has kept the iconic movie out of the Library of Congress. In the end, this is Lucas's creation, and he has the right to do whatever he wants with it, even if that means taking some pretty big risks. The interview with J.J. Abrams was originally conducted by the Now This Twitter account. J.J. Abrams is calling for the the original version of Star Wars to be released. Okay. Well, what I take from this, very simple. If there is a way to bring the original unaltered trilogy to the, to people, then why not? Let's get it done. It could be a contractual agreement with George Lucas and Disney. I don't know. But we just have to wait and see. Kaiju, as being the resident Jedi Master in this setup, what do you make of it?
About the unaltered trilogy, I mean, I guess never say never, but until George Lucas ever decides to drop his ego,
good luck with that.
I honestly don't think we'll.
Good luck with that shit.
He'll ever I have a feeling that this is most likely going to be this is most likely a contractual thing. Maybe he is the one who is solely responsible for no other version of Star Wars ever being available. So maybe we're gonna have to wait until he dies in order for us to finally get the original versions. But hey, it's morbid, but it might be true. It's like with him out of the picture, Disney might be able to do whatever they want with it. Other that
that is the same vein. Whenever Vince McMahon passes, WWE gets a little better, even though there's a lot of things to get fixed. But yeah, you're right.
Hey, for all we know, as soon as George Lucas dies, maybe control of the person who will have final say over the original trilogy will probably go down to his family, and I'm sure Disney would be more than willing to buy it off them.
Also release Star Wars 1313. Sorry, I'm still salty about that.
Yeah. I don't know, but even with J.J. Abrams behind it, I'm sure that there have been plenty of people behind it that still haven't made it a thing. I mean, if Disney hasn't already made it a thing in how long have they had Star Wars now? Since 2011, 2012?
Something like that.
Yeah, if they haven't done it by now, I doubt they'll be doing it anytime soon, as much as I would like to see it happen.
Alright, Lids, what do you think?
I don't know. It's I don't think that we're gonna see the uncut version of Star Wars that we had before Lucas decided, oh, you know what, let's change everything. It's no, George, no. We don't need extra shit. We don't need Jabba there when Han was being confronted. We don't need all that shit. We don't need a stupid scene at the end of. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just really mad that he changed a bunch of shit. I mean, I do that, but then again, I'm an idiot. The point is, I don't think we're gonna see like a uncut or an unedited version of Star Wars. We're just like, those tapes are lost, and I think we all have to live with that.
Yeah. Raiden, your 2 cents.
SOL, shit out of luck. I mean, like I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan, but yeah, and Kaiju said it best. Lucas got an ego on him, and you know,
That's
and
putting it mildly.
with ego, there's pettiness. So Lord knows he's gonna do it without like a bargain. So I don't know. Unless there's an alternate reality where it's okay, I'll be fair with the series that I'm passionate about, maybe. But with this reality, yeah, you're gonna have to wait for a while. Oh wait, a while.
Aaron says, I've still got the uncut Star Wars trilogy on VHS. Oh.
That's rare.
Lucky guy.
Yeah.
There's always the unofficial despecialized edition Blu-ray bootlegs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. On to something that isn't being mucked around with re-edits and Lord knows what other stuff that Abrams I mean Lucas would be able to love to do to another franchise.
Although that would be hilarious if for whatever reason J.J. Abrams decides to go back and make like The Force Awakens special edition.
Oh, no. God.
No.
This also
That's hell on earth. That's hell on earth right there.
This next article comes from MovieWeb. Top Gun 2 poster flies in. New Maverick trailer lands tomorrow. The new Top Gun Maverick trailer drops tomorrow, Monday, December 16. Tom Cruise announced the news on social media whilst also unveiling a new poster for the highly anticipated sequel. The first movie hit theaters in 1986 and launched Cruise's career as an A-list celebrity after grossing over $356 million. Since then, the movie has only gotten bigger, with fans wondering for decades if they'd ever see Cruise back in the role of Maverick. By 2017, most fans had given up hope, so it came as a major shock when the actor confirmed that it was really happening. The latest poster for Maverick features Tom Cruise's main character leaning on what appears to be a World War II era plane, while looking up at the sky to see two modern fighter jets. It's a simple and clean poster that also features the iconic logo of the original. The first Top Gun 2 trailer was released over the summer during San Diego Comic-Con, and it immediately started to raise hype for the project, especially since Cruise personally premiered it at the annual event. As for those fighter jets that are in the movie, including the latest Top Gun Maverick poster, they're not the iconic F-14 Tomcats from the original movie. The Navy introduced that specific plane in the early 1980s, mainly to intercept bombers and protect aircraft carriers. The sequel is using the FA-1818F Super Hornet, which was introduced in the 1990s. The jet is a little bit more diverse than the F-14 Tomcat, boasting both air-to-ground and air-to-air capabilities. This has already been teased in the first trailer for the sequel. The Top Gun Maverick storyline has been kept under wraps, but we may get some more information when the trailer lands tomorrow. The first trailer was met with excitement with huge doses of nostalgia, but now there should be time to introduce new faces of the movie, along with some more details. Will we get a chance to see Val Kilmer return as Iceman? He's actually confirmed after campaigning on social media he will be in the movie as Iceman.
Yes.
That is unclear at the moment, but that would be huge if he was teased in the upcoming footage. Fans have waited over 30 years to see Tom Cruise back as Maverick. Expectations are sure to be high, but if the reaction to the first trailer is any indication, Cruise and crew will have no problem at the box office in June. Maverick was originally set to hit theaters much earlier, but production took a breather to work out the logistics of presenting flight sequences with new technology in planes, according to a Paramount statement released at the time. Whatever the case may be, it looks like the wait was worth it. You can check out the new Top Gun Maverick poster below thanks to Tom Cruise's Twitter account, and check out the new trailer tomorrow. And Kenny Loggins has confirmed Highway to the Danger Zone will be in the new movie. You can't do Top Gun without
played by Fallout Boy.
No!
Wait a minute.
No, none of that.
No.
Shame on you.
Here's the thing.
I understood that reference.
Here's the thing. Ghostbusters has to be done by Ray Parker Jr. Back in Time and Power of Love has to be by Huey Lewis and the News. And Highway to the Danger Zone has to be done by Kenny Loggins. Don't mess with what already works. There's a reason why they say, don't mess with the classics. Lids, what do you think?
Well, again, I like the first Top Gun, and I'm intrigued to see what happens next. I'm looking forward to see the next trailer, see what they reveal, and should be interesting. Just make sure that you stick the landing and don't spoil the whole movie in the trailer, please.
Yeah, please.
I'd like to see the movie. Oh, and look who's here.
Hello.
Hey.
Yay.
Greetings, young Win.
I live. I need an adult.
But Miss
But you are.
Damn it,
But-
Lids
but-
beat me to it.
You are an adult.
Raiden, your thoughts on the news that they're bringing with regards to Top Gun 2?
What was it? You keep cutting out.
All right. Kaiju?
No.
Yeah, he's saying you are cutting out. He didn't understand you.
Okay. Raiden, what are your thoughts on the news regarding Top Gun 2?
So far it's looking very well done planning wise. Good to hear Kenny Loggins is coming back as Highway to the Danger Zone. That's a classic right there. So
oh yeah,
you can't f up a classic. So I mean, considering I wasn't a big fan of the first one because I never seen a little bit of it. And for fans, I hope they get what they deserve, like the right way. So it'll be interesting to see.
Kaiju?
Again, just not a Top Gun person, only because I have yet to watch the first movie, like I mentioned before, but it's a decent looking poster. It's a nice teaser. Doesn't really give us a whole lot to work with, other than, that's Tom Cruise there, and those are newer planes. And, not much to say there other than, hey, that I'm sure fans would probably excite fans then.
All right. Do you want to bring your video in now?
Sure, yeah. Just give me a sec.
Sure.
Do the thing.
All right, then. So I got earlier this month, I prepared a little something for JoJo fans. It was something I've never really talked about on my channel before, so it wasn't until I came across this one particular American comic that made me really want to make this video, because it was something that, as a comic creator myself, was very passionate about, and I felt like the need to talk about this product.
Okay.
Let's see here.
Just post the link.
All right, got the link here, and I hope you guys will enjoy it.
Alrighty. Let me just copy the link so I can post that into there for them.
Yay, no ads. No offense, Kaiju.
I didn't know there were no ads here.
And liking already.
Gracias.
De nada, senor.
Ready.
Yes. So, get ready, guys, for a cavalcade of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure references. Although, I did make sure to try and explain what JoJo is for people who have not read or watched the manga or anime.
Fair enough.
So, yeah, if I know, let's see, for anyone who hasn't yet to get into JoJo, I would be interested to hear your guys' thoughts and to see whether or not I did a good enough job at introducing what the concept is before delving into the subject of the review.
All right, sounds good.
All right, so that's 0-0.
Same.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yada yada does it.
Great, great desu yo.
Nice.
Oh God.
Let's see. So let's get the JoJo references started with the worst JoJo reference ever. In 3, 2, 1, go.
Love that intro.
Yeah.
Thanks. A combination of both Crooked Lore's animation and Braden Connor's editing.
Nice.
On January 1st, 1987, the first chapter of Hirohiko Araki's manga, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, was published in Weekly Shonen Jump magazine. While initially starting out as essentially muscular dudes fighting supernatural beings with spiritual energy, the series would evolve over time and eventually develop its own unique style, especially with the introduction of stands, which are the embodiments of a character's fighting spirit that comes in a variety of different forms with various abilities. You know the series Persona? Well, they basically got that idea from this. Because of the manga's ability to change up its cast, setting, and time period with each new storyline, introducing new concepts and setups to keep things interesting, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure has gone on to become one of the best-selling and longest-running manga series in history. Since 2016, I've been engrossed in this franchise, mostly through the 2012 anime adaptation that put JoJo...
What is up with the shoulder pads?
Myself included. I became so much of a fan that I even made JoJo the theme of my 2017 Halloween livestream.
Nice.
As I started to delve more and more into the franchise, I eventually came to learn of a particular comic that at one point attempted to ape the success of Hirohiko Araki's creation. You see, a few months back, I was chatting with Titan Goji.
Sorry, I
fellow
dig
JoJo
Chibi Kaiju.
At one point, he said, Thanks.
Hey Andres, did you know about this one American JoJo ripoff?
And I was like, American JoJo ripoff? Whatever do you mean? And he was like,
Yeah, there was this knockoff of JoJo Part 3. It's called Diesel.
Of course, my curiosity got the best of me, so I looked it up online.
A few moments later.
1997 indeed tried to plagiarize JoJo.
Thank you, Richard Epcar.
Diesel, a series that lasted only one single issue.
Yeah, copy my homework. I just change it a little bit.
People fighting with
You look at the design, it's not only ripping off JoJo, but the design is a blatant ripoff of John Constantine.
I know, right? 183 through 188 of the manga. In recent years, it's been explained that the writer and artist, Joe Welchins, came across a fan-subbed copy of the 1993 OVA adaptation of JoJo's third and most popular storyline, Stardust Crusaders. Having been a fan of the OVA, he attempted to have the manga localized through Antarctic Press, a publisher that specialized in manga and anime-inspired American comics. When that didn't work out, he wanted to replicate it as a means of bringing the awesomeness of JoJo to the West. Now, as to why the comic only lasted one issue is anyone's guess. Maybe it was so bad that Antarctic canceled the series due to poor sales, or maybe they were afraid of getting sued and wanted to pull the plug before that could happen. But as for Welchins' excuse, I have to call BS. Wanting to pay homage to another artist's work and straight up plagiarizing it are two very different things. Once more, if you want to see a property that takes the concept of stands and put a new spin on it, look no further than Persona. Speaking as a
Ask
comic
Dick
writer
Simmons,
myself,
the
I
dude who
completely
pretty much
understand
ripped
the
off
idea of
Bleach.
taking inspiration
Really?
under several sources in order to craft an
Bazinga,
original story,
yay!
especially one that's meant to pay tribute to the very things that inspire.
Yeah, if I remember right, a couple of YouTubers a while back when the whole Gene Simmons reality show was picking up popularity, they realized Nick Simmons' comic style was pretty much tracing Tite Kubo's Bleach manga and various other shonen Shonen Jump.
For JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Like there was one page that had a close up on it that was pretty much
Now it's bad enough that he would stoop so low
identical to a panel of One Piece with Arlong laughing maniacally.
Characters have this awkward blending of a semi-realistic Western aesthetic and exaggerated anime-style expressions that go well like oil and water. Even when the characters remain in a mostly Western comic style, the characters' faces and body structures lack
Saturday
any
morning cartoon
consistency.
levels of
As for the
blah.
stands themselves, they may have been okay had this been its own thing, but they pale in comparison to Araki's elaborate designs. On top of that, the comic does a lackluster job of
Needs more shoulder pads.
information to the audience within this one issue.
That's where they failed.
And
Needs more
poses.
dudes. Yeah, I was gonna say needs more dudes posing menacingly in speedos.
What the hell these stands even are?
Looking at you, Pillarman.
And more homoeroticism.
Yes.
Find out that a mentor figure from their past was killed by a villain for some reason, and now is under attack by the villain's henchmen.
What's up with your chin, sir?
Now I can go more in depth with these flaws.
Your
but I
art
wanted to
style
do something
is changing
special for
every
comic business
panel.
success.
Consistency, do you not know what that is? My art is shit, and at least I know what consistency is.
These were his genuine reactions.
This is
So here we're doing a little commentary.
You're introducing me. Instead of continuing the video, you decide to introduce me.
I can't record the shit out of you unless I get in the same Skype conversation as you.
Oh, then by all means, continue. There's gonna be a lot of this, folks, so I hope you enjoy that. This whole video is a JoJo reference. You say it once, it's gonna work for the whole video.
So many
Are you ready
references.
to delve into the world of the very, very short but somewhat baffling world of Diesel? Are you ready to dive into Diesel's baffling adventure?
How could I ignore a comic with such a manly name? It has the word die in it.
Because we know JoJo is known for both its masculinity and its flamboyancy.
I was about to
And
say.
let's see how much it has of either one.
Andres, both together just means you're comfortable with your sexuality. That's really the moral of JoJo.
The whole point of JoJo is don't judge. Look at the cover alone, right here, right here and now. You got to yourself this sort of like very rusted sort
So
of
tough.
title
Look
logo,
at the steel. Look
and
at
you
the
got sort of
rusted
like
steel.
blank black
It's so
background.
pretty.
You see our
This is very 90s. I get it.
So
this
edgy.
blue Lobo or Blobo as
Lobo
like the Blobo pat
Lobo. What the fuck?
Well, he looks like either a mix of Star Platinum and Lobo from DC Comics or Blanca from Street Fighter. First things first, that image of Hercules.
It has a little bit of
Blanca
Blanca in there.
It was
which I have.
What are you talking about?
Damn, and I thought Yaoi Dojin she had huge hands.
Oh, dude. I was gonna go with Yu-Gi-Oh! Season 0, but
I'm
yeah.
sorry to have bothered you, Mr. Botha. I guess that's not
What?
Dio
Who
or
the hell are
Dio's
you?
name, Mr. Botha. That I thought you were.
Well, let's just say I was misinformed.
Botha.
That works too well for this character, I won't lie.
Maybe, yeah. I mean,
kinda does.
really should have played Dio in if he was still alive today. This is an
What
incredible.
the fuck? Oh god, that
It
face.
is almost traced by per se. I love the pool, I always wanted one for myself. What's the price for one of these, if you don't mind me asking?
Why is the thought bubbles like white instead of without like?
That's not gonna make it very easy to read.
I can only assume that Joe
You
Wilkins
gotta read this online. I have trouble reading it.
never saw the OVA, the JoJo.
Okay, and now they're ripping off a Dragon Ball. GG.
Matches up with what?
Fuck?
It was popular back in the day.
Well, Dragon Ball Elfin lead, because that fucker got sliced in half.
Oh yeah, true.
Zawaro don't.
Give it a name of a bad song or a bad album.
We should totally do that because, spoiler alert, the majority of the stands in this comic have no names. They don't do the anime thing of like announcing their attacks.
All right, so we'll call the blue one that's supposed to be Star Platinum the Monkeys.
The Monkeys, okay. Right, there's
The
a
Monkeys.
knockoff of the Beatles. So I'm gonna do my Patrick Warburton for Nojo here. It's been a long time now since I left.
Oh my god, it's amazing that you do that well.
Thank you very much. Mind me dropping in unexpectedly like this, but I want to surprise her. Oh, do I?
Oh my god!
And then here we go. I want you to read what this character says.
I sent you a stand user friend, so don't move a muscle and I
Oh, they legit to say that. Wow.
See here, they straight up using the term stand in this comic. No.
So beware the power of my stand.
You can't do that!
Clown posse.
No, I was almost gonna say that's Red Hot Chili Pepper from Part 4.
Araki gonna sue somebody.
No, it's clown posse.
Somebody's getting sued.
He's gonna do the smartest thing anyone's ever done in no.
Holy Amy Schumer, Batman.
Punching lightning.
Oh my god, in this one panel, the stand has pupils.
You magnificent bastard, I read your book!
His chin and his nose grew 3 sizes between the first
What
and
is
third
happening?
Alright, now she needs to
Why
get,
does it look like he's in a marathon animated show? And if anyone knows marathon, they do over.
What is up with this Dan's boobs?
There we go. So
They
her
look like
stand's
they're
name is
defying
Jessica
gravity.
Cats, and it's like
What in the world?
I want to say this is like the most generic stand ever. Where also it's kind of weird because it's like
what's with
they're wearing a costume.
What's with the spine?
Are actually like that because you can see.
I mean, just because he has the Afro Plus doesn't mean you give the stand
Yeah, it's a weird
marble
like, sort of,
balls or whatever.
like, spine thing. Both her and the spines are sort of like weirdly shaped, but then again, it's aping off JoJo, so weird spine alignments are.
Oh
are
god,
not
it's
nothing
Centaur
new in
Girl
that
syndrome.
Should have called her Stand Miami Connection.
Why?
Because it looks like a ninja. I keep on thinking of that song from the movie Escape, the Fight the Ninja, whatever it was.
All right.
Against the ninja.
Really?
We got ourselves an Iggy here, and he's called Chewbacca. So
What the hell? What are
maybe
you doing
Joe
to the
was
puppy?
trying to go for movie references. Maybe we should have
famously
gone with
ripping
movie
off
references
Iggy
instead of
for
music
shame.
references this whole time. I thought you were in China, or you hardly ever call her right. I've been worried sick
Except
about you.
Chewbacca's
Again, we have
bland.
no idea who these
Iggy has
characters are. We don't know
personality
what he's doing
and
in
is
the
a
show. We don't know
and is a
how
delightful
he
little
is.
shit.
Like that face he's making.
Yeah.
Look at that shit-eating grin. What the hell?
Disturbing right there. I'm assuming this is supposed to be like.
What is up with that smile, dude?
Because he kind of got a little similar thing going on there.
But Abdul was cool.
I want to see Polar F. Come on, show me
Wait.
rip off Polar F, please.
I was gonna say, is that Mr. Dubois from the Boondocks if he had wannabe coloring role?
That was good.
Oh my god. I wouldn't put it past him.
Oh man, I barely recognize.
See, it looks like Mr. Dubois.
What's going on? What's that?
No.
I think that's supposed to be Nojo. Thomas, Dad is dead.
Have mercy.
Wait, they're all related?
That's the 90s. Black guys are allowed to be kind of stereotypical.
Shocked Pikachu
I'll
face?
talk to you about Ryuo, which is Japanese for dragon.
That has to be the
king.
blandest
I don't
shocked
know why.
Pikachu face I've ever seen.
I have no idea why this clearly non-Asian person is calling himself Ryuo, but who knows?
So now he's either evil or a hentai protagonist.
Oh dear.
But that's in the layout.
Oh my god.
So,
Can you
evil
guess who
weeb
that is?
mastermind?
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna say it. It's not because I find it insulting.
And before the torches and pitchforks come out, I am an admitted weeb.
He's summoning his blood because it's the 90s. So you gotta be all
Gotta be
extreme.
mentioning that.
You know, of course, he's gotta control blood.
Yeah. Oh, even better. Oh, I just realized for the Dio in this, let's call him Jack Black. Since Jack
Jesus,
Black did a
can
cover
you
of a
get
Dio
any
song.
more edgy?
And so he's walking, and he's like, whoop, he
It
slips
was the
on blood,
90s.
on a pool of blood, which of course naturally blends in well with the rest of the environment, unlike water.
Who spilled the tomato juice outside? I stepped in it. It's all over my shoe now.
No,
Oh God, so much cranberry juice.
I should have done that one character from South Park. I forgot his name at the moment. It sounds like
Jimmy.
Sounds like Doug is
Jimmy.
Storm.
Very inaccurate to JoJo because that dog's still alive.
Oh my God.
Chewie
No.
killed Joseph.
He's still alive.
He's not wrong.
Right,
dude.
Joe? Hey, you're
Oh my
not
god,
supposed to
they
come
killed
to the
Kenny!
the JoJo here. Enemy stand! It's an enemy stand! And so already we lost one of our main characters here.
Oh man, I really liked him too with the stuff he did and the things.
Yeah, we're never gonna see Insane Clown Posse ever again. Oh, they must be controlling the stand from a distance.
Oh, they even kept that ability.
What should we call this blood stand?
Let's see. We need to think of like a grunge band or something.
You know what? Let's just call him Nirvana.
Metallica.
Metallica. Okay, let's call him Metallica.
Metallica.
Led Zeppelin.
I get that.
I was going to go with what was it called, like Hammerstein, Ramstein. So yeah, sure. Let's go with your idea. So who do you choose for him?
I think it was Led Zeppelin. That's what I
So
said.
get back to the house. Move away from the stand. It can't get us if we're in a cabin. And so
that is logical thinking.
You can't.
There's no sounds like
What?
Of course.
That doesn't make sense.
Alex. And he chops off Alex's feet. I didn't even know this guy's name was Alex.
Oh.
I'm gonna assume this is Hierophant Green.
Hierophant Green.
Because he's got the
That.
dubstep. No,
It's
this
correct.
is,
At the same
Skrillex.
time.
This is Skrillex.
It's the ripoff of Killer Queen's color. That's a ripoff of Killer Queen's color scheme.
That's just a Gundam.
The thing is, it's like a lot of I've heard
That's a,
people
that's a
online
damn.
call it
That is a
Gundam.
damn.
That's
What
right.
the hell?
At first, I thought this was like I thought this was Tekken Man Blade until I later found out exactly what it was. And so I want to show you this particular art, and I want you to tell me if it looks similar to it. If not, exactly it. So I'm sending it to you on Facebook right now.
Oh my god, that is it.
Oh,
Or like a
damn.
cheaper version of it.
It's apparently from an anime that Masami Obari made called Detonator Orgun. It's the fucking traced Orgun for the stand.
Go get him, Dallas Store Gundam.
Yeah, so I'm gonna call him. Since it's already a Gundam ripoff, I'm gonna call him Tobey Gundam, which is the name of the song from the opening of the original Gundam.
Oh wow.
So it's Tobey.
So actually get
yeah.
So actually get that from Japan.
No. We gotta call him Mr. Roboto or Sticks.
Oh god.
Domo arigato.
Mr. Roboto, yes.
Domo.
Go, Mr. Roboto.
this Burns must be I can't pronounce that name.
Aziz's.
Must
What?
be Aziz's Black
Aziz's?
Templar stand. It actually has a name.
I guess so.
Templar.
All right. I'll have to be more careful.
Oh, hi, man.
I don't know
Hey.
what Stan uses because I want to. I just like the way it feels. I'm making choom, which of course is choom is much more of a quieter sound than the sound of simply walking in a forest.
Everyone's leaving except for running. Those strides, full of confidence, courage, lust. All right. I must be, yes, Thomas Diesel. Wait, that's his actual name? I thought it was just a joke. Finally, I've got it. Both will be pleased. Jack Black will be pleased. But Thomas, no matter how powerful your meta hammer may be, that's the name of the.
Yep, that's Blobo there in real name.
That is so 90s. Oh my god.
Yep, there we go. That's the pose that he just straight up took and reused for the cover. Row, and then yipe.
Ruh-roh, puppy.
Kill
No.
me in the
No.
suit.
The copy from JoJo.
No.
The horrible abuse against dogs.
Yeah, so how can dogs have it worse than humans in that show?
I have no idea, man. Maybe a dog bit Hirohiko Araki when he was a child, and he was like, "Fuck all dogs now." This is like one of the worst like panel layouts I've seen in a comic. So we have a 2-page spread where like this, it should have been a 1-page spread, but for whatever reason, the image on the right side is taking over the left page, and we have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 fucking panels shoved to like the side of the left page just to make room for an image that could have clearly have been in 1 page. So,
Murda, I paid attention. Does that say Murda? Does that say Muda?
Nailed that.
maybe it's he's supposed to be foreign.
I was
so
gonna
that's
go with a
that's
John
his
Woo
language,
reference,
I'm
but it's not murder with M-U-R-D.
man.
I paid attention to the dog.
If it was, it'd be like, murder.
Where is he? Come on. Where are you? He isn't moving. Come on, go to your old pal Mac.
And so he's standing right behind him. Kono giorno giovana ni wa yume ga aru. Wait, sorry, wrong JoJo. Wait, sorry, this is not as cool. Vreechum!
Oh my god. Force enemy to kiss his hand.
What?
Why? Who the hell are you? Talk, damn it.
Alright, I can't tell you anything, sorry. And now we have superhuman samurai.
Alright.
Yes.
Because I need to think of something 90s, so.
Alright, sure. So we got another stand that's essentially a dude in a costume, which is not
Or girl.
Or, yeah.
I think I see poop.
Shaybot.
Hello, Thomas. Sorry, I can't explain. If it's any consolation, you've passed the first test. Now I shall go to the one place you will never find me. Spies! Spies!
Yeah, the comic just ends with
Yes!
him awkwardly
Tim
standing there
Curry.
with a blind dude in his arms. He's like, is that it? I was expecting
Yeah, I'm not gonna look totally guilty.
Alright, I guess I'm done here. Boy, I lost my friends, I lost my dog, Joey. I certainly hope this chapter, things go better for me, because this is a really awkward place to end a story.
I hope my black friends are alright.
And you know what? Since this comic never went anywhere, I'm gonna assume everyone ended up dying, and that's why Nojo is the only person there to face off against Jack Black. And I'm gonna assume that he got killed by Jack Black as well.
Where does Jack Black come from?
Master of Dragons Part 1.
Why?
Part 1 of 1. I don't know why there's a subtitle. I guess Master of Dragons is like the equivalent of Stardust Crusaders. I don't know why Master of Dragons. I guess that's the name of the story arc.
This looks like a cover to an old video game in the back. Actually, it looks like
kinda
the information to an old video game cartridge.
And again, this is a much more interesting cover art than what we eventually got. And I'm assuming this is like an earlier design for the monkey stand, because
look at the things around his arms.
Yeah, he's got bandages instead of just like goth rubber bracelet straps. And so we got story, pencils, inks, colors, not to mention writing, by Joe Welchins, created by Joe Welchins. Special thanks to Jennifer, Leal, Joe Wright, Patty Kelly.
Special thanks to Joe Welchins.
Special thanks to Mr. and Mrs. Welchins. Let's see, Fred Perry, Pat Thornton, Brian Yelitz, Pat Duke, and Ben Dunn. This is
now
all.
You gotta thank the creator of JoJo.
It's all. Yeah, I know. No special thanks to him.
Oh shit.
During my fucking comic, I credited the people I
What is
took
even
inspiration
happening?
from. Logo and dragon symbol designed by Pat Kelly. Cover color by Pat Duke.
Oh, you mean the symbol we didn't see in this story whatsoever?
I guess that's the symbol on the back cover, which is it's supposed to look like a kanji, but it doesn't look like any kanji I've ever seen personally, although again I could be wrong though. As you can tell by that montage, Diesel #1 is devoid of any merit. Its art is underwhelming, its story conveys zero information to the reader, and its creativity rides off the coattails of someone else's success. Its existence serves no real purpose other than to show comic creators how to make a comic with zero creative integrity. In fact, the only real entertainment you can get from this comic is if you're already a JoJo fan and you want to see how Joe Welchins poorly executes Araki's ideas. If you're not a JoJo fan, then there's nothing really to gain from this comic, and you're better off just watching or reading the real thing. While I'm sure there are plenty of comics out there more terrible than this, Diesel #1 is quite possibly the worst comic I've ever personally read, a title I previously gave to The Dark Knight Strikes Again. To reiterate, on its own, it's
Ouch.
a very mediocre comic.
I mean, you're not wrong, but
From a
ouch.
standpoint, Diesel deserves nothing less than a 1 out of 5. Thank you, everybody, for joining me on this truly bizarre adventure.
1 out of 5.
Special thanks
That's
to Crooked Lore for sharing the
that's
burden of
putting it
reading
mildly.
Diesel #1, and Titan Gochi for his assistance in editing this video. If you'd like to see more reactionary type videos such as this, please let me know in the comments below. Until next time, everybody, take care.
Yeah, I need more stuff like this. This is amazing.
Yeah.
That was
Glad you guys
decent.
enjoyed it. Thanks. Thank you very much, guys.
If you ever need anyone to endure shitty comic reading with you, I'm more than happy to provide a few voices.
Thank you. I just gotta get any recommendations, weird comics, and I'll be sure to include you guys. I'm looking at the last comment from the live stream. Spies.
Oh, hi, Tim Curry.
Well, it's the season finale, and it's time to do a preview for another.
Hold on, someone made another JoJo reference. Diesel needs a bit of bites as the dust store. Okay.
I love how your captions always review, question mark.
Well, to be fair, Lid, if I put the title in there, it would give away
It would be a
what it
spoiler.
was. Yeah. And I'm not gonna do that. Alright, I'm at 0-0.
Alright, ready.
Same here.
Sam.
Win?
I forgot I was on push to talk. I'm good to go.
Oh, okay. Do the thing.
Alright, you good to go, Win?
Yeah.
In 3, 2, 1. It was fun to work on this. Play.
Oh, nice. Oh, how timely.
It's difficult enough to make an original iconic
That's
classic.
weird.
Thank you. Imagine having to follow it
Oh,
up.
was this during No Shave November?
1989, the cast and crew of Back to the Future reunited for the sequel that wowed audiences on November
Makes you look
22
distinguished.
in 1989. And so, for the 30th anniversary, Time Circuit's on. The plot picks up seconds from when the last movie left off, but there are notable differences in this scene. While it's pretty much shot for shot, we see the Doc hesitating when Marty questions what he and Jennifer are like in the future, and a delivery of
Roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads.
has a different pitch and cadence. And you can see that Michael has aged a little with the 4-year difference between part 1 and 2. What I love about the future that is depicted
Don't forget
in
the new
sequel is
actress.
that unlike other movies from the 80s like Blade Runner and 1984's The Terminator, where the future is very dark, gritty, and dystopian, the 2015 that Marty and Doc arrive in at 4:29 p.m. October 21st is very happy, bright, colourful, and technologically advanced. From automated service in Cafe 80s, to autonomous vehicles, to widescreen TVs, and video conferencing. Bob and Bob had no real way of predicting the future, and they just decided to have fun with these concepts, which quite a few did eventually come to pass. More on that later. The pacing and flow still has what made it work from before, but now it plays with the perils of time travel. Marty sees the consequences of what happens when information is brought from the future to the past, when senior Biff Tannen goes back to November 12, 1955 and hands the Grey Sports Almanac to his teenage self. This is only realised when he, Doc, and Jennifer travel back to 1985 and already see there have been some changes. Biff is now rich, powerful, and corrupt and married to Lorraine, George McFly is nowhere to be seen, and Hill Valley is turned into a nightmare scene as Biff has turned the town hall into his own personal address and casino. They did revisit the first movie, in which they worked around the events of the original without Marty and Doc directly interfering with said events as to not cause a paradox. Because Marty from the original would have missed the event with the clock tower, would have never gone back to the future, and it would have resulted in a time paradox that would have ripped apart the fabric of time, causing a chain reaction, destroying the universe, or at least the local known galaxy. As good as this movie is, it did repeat onto the first movie with Marty unwittingly having himself involved with a member of Biff's family and using his wits to evade them. He was fortunate enough to escape Biff's gang in 1955 by avoiding the manure truck, and seemingly just as lucky to avoid Griff's hoverboard gang as he jumped into the water and then crashed into the clock tower.
Something very familiar about all this.
You know the old phrase, those who don't learn from their history are doomed to repeat it? Well, that becomes so for Marty in Part 3, when he travels to 1885 and doesn't fare so well against Mad Dog Tannen. It also introduced a new story arc for Marty that just felt like it came out of nowhere, with him losing his judgment anytime someone called him chicken. I suppose from one perspective it gave him something new to learn aside from learning that there are consequences to actions with the almanac. It's not a horrible arc, but it's just one of those that felt weird. As with the previous entry, it gives away a lot of seemingly useless information but comes right back up in part 3. For example, George found out in the street after Lorraine's father knocked him out with the car, and the night of the storm which struck the clock tower and why it hadn't worked for 30 years. In part 2, it's alluded to why Marty Sr.'s hand was broken due to an accident in 1985, and Doc wanting to visit the Old West and discover one of the great mysteries of the universe. Women. And Marty using a bulletproof vest in part 3 as he watches Biff and his female company watching an old Clint Eastwood western. Fox reprises his role as the quirky and lovable Marty McFly, and seemingly like he only walked off of the set of the first Back to the Future 5 minutes before walking on to part 2, as he's in character with Marty's quirks and traits. Particularly when they land in 2015 and he wants to see the future for himself that he wouldn't see naturally for another 30 years. What Michael brings to the table this time as Marty is showing how the character is seduced by the prospect of potential wealth by bringing back an almanac that would tell him the next 15 years of sporting events that he could make a fortune from. Fox portrays remorse and regret flawlessly when it dawns upon him that his actions are the direct result of 1985 existing due to Biff doing what he wanted to do. As Marty Jr., he acts like a wimp agreeing to Griff's demands until his father steps in, as they're basically a spitting image of each other. As Marlene McFly, he's only used in brief scenes and is only around the dinner table having a hydrated pizza from Pizza Hut. Lloyd effortlessly steps back into the role of the inventor of a time-traveling DeLorean. His performance is that of joy and regret this time round. Joy is seeing the future history being altered of Griff going to jail and not Marty Jr. His regret is when he realizes that old Biff took the time machine back to the past, gave the sports almanac to his teenage self, and then sees that Hill Valley has become less than desirable. An amusing moment comes when he is essentially having a conversation with himself when his 1955 counterpart is making preparations for the clock tower experiment for later on that evening, on Saturday, November 12, 1955. Just like the two principal cast members, Tom steps right back into character as the butthead of the franchise. Just like part 1's,
so why don't you make like a tree and get out of here?
He continues to mess it up.
Oh, that's about as funny as a screen door on a battleship. Screen door on a submarine, you dork.
Tom went through the most counterparts in this movie as he plays Biff 1985, Biff 1985A, 1955 Biff, his teenage self, old Biff, and Griff. Whereas in part 1 he portrays what a stereotypical high school bully could be, in this you could see the fully realized potential of his corrupt side as he uses his wealth to have a stranglehold on Hill Valley, owning the law as well. He plays the scene beautifully between his teenage and senior selves seamlessly, like it's a real conversation happening in real time. He might play a butthead, but the actor is a true pro. Leia has limited screen time in this sequel, but like Tom, she plays 3 different incarnations of herself from her adult 1985A counterpart, her senior self in 2015, and back to play her teenage version in 1955. She turns in another good performance as a supporting player, although she would have more screen time in part 3 as Marty's great-great-grandmother. Elizabeth replaces Claudia Wells as Marty's girlfriend, and taking into account that the two look strikingly similar to each other, it doesn't hurt the movie. Claudia had to drop out the sequel due to personal family issues. Shu portrays Jennifer well and has more screen time than Claudia's portrayal did, and has a look of shock about her when she encounters her future self. Although truth be told, I think if we saw ourselves as a senior version of ourselves, I think we would have that sense to faint. The effects aren't just with the DeLorean this time. There was an amazing use of trick photography where one actor would be able to play 2 roles on screen in the same shot. 2 examples of this are with Marty interacting with his son at Cafe 80s, where it's Michael playing 2 roles, but the editing is done so flawlessly. that you'd swear blind that they cloned Michael J. Fox. Same
Yeah, a little
circumstances
bit.
with Christopher Lloyd essentially having a conversation with himself where Doc 1955 is asking Doc 1985 for a 3/4 inch wrench, and the editing is once more perfect as it looks like Christopher was doubled within the same scene. And now, for the DeLorean itself. The time machine went through some changes compared to the original. In the first movie, the car's time circuits were powered with plutonium in order to generate the 1.21 gigawatts of power, akin to that of a bolt of lightning, in order for the car to break through the time barrier. At the end of Part 1, the car had a Mr. Fusion reactor added to the rear, removing the need for plutonium cells, as this could be now powered with trash in order to generate the power required. And the car could fly, as Doc had a hover conversion added when he got to 2015 originally. Michael Chaffee played a part in building the DeLorean in making the car look as though it had been made in a garage, working with whatever the Doc could find based on his budget. Michael is also the same man that built the original Kit from Knight Rider, and anybody that's ever seen Kit and his dashboard knows of the sheer detail that Michael put into the car. I've met the man in person, and he is one of the most humble and approachable human beings you're ever likely to meet. For a movie now celebrating its 30th anniversary, the special and visual effects hold up so well that you forget that this movie was made at the end of the 80s. Alan Silvestri returns for composing duties for the follow-up, and he did not disappoint. He still brought the cheery and optimistic themes that were used in the original, but he's able to bring a slightly darker tone to the flick when you see the 1985 A scenes reflecting the altered timeline that our protagonists find themselves in. I think my most favourite uses of the score is when you see Marty rising back up to the roof on the hood of the DeLorean, much to Biff's surprise, and seeing Doc pull Marty out of harm's way at the end of the road tunnel, which was also used in Robert Zemeckis' Who Framed Roger Rabbit. For me, you cannot do a Back to the Future movie without Alan Silvestri's timeless score. He really helps to give the movie a lot of heart when you hear his work operating in the background. 3 decades since the follow-up was released to cinema goers, it has reached beloved status from TV reruns and releases onto DVD, and for the 25th and 30th anniversary, onto Blu-ray. It's not without its fault, as I mentioned earlier. Some did find the introduction of Marty reacting angrily to being called chicken like it came out of left field. This is something that gets resolved in Part 3, but that's for another time. And history repeating itself from the first movie, with Marty finding himself in a predicament with one of Biff's relatives. It's still cool to watch, but you feel like you've seen it before. Aside from the philosophical aspects of the pros and cons of time travel, it did turn out that 26 years later, they did get a lot of their predictions right. Hoverboards. This did happen, but only over areas where it was magnetized underneath so that the boards could hover above selected ground. Widescreen TVs. These have been around since the mid-2000s, as TV stations were changing their aspect ratio from 4:3 to 16:9, or widescreen to put it simply. Digital devices that distract people at dinner. Granted, it's not as fantastical as the VR goggles that the McFly family wears at the dinner table, but
VR!
devices from phones to tablets do distract families at the dinner table. Video conferencing, although this was already predated with Stingray, Thunderbird, Star Trek, and Knight Rider. This is the means of being able to communicate with others whilst using a live video feed. This has been achieved through satellite connections, webcams, Skype, which was a major breakthrough, and now onto something as minuscule as smartphones with FaceTime. I prefer video chat personally. 80s nostalgia taking over, from fashion trends of leg warmers returning to movie series like the Ninja Turtles and Transformers. 3D movies coming into play. The shark still looks fake. 3D movies have been around for years, but only started to get taken more seriously in the late 2000s when the likes of Avatar had presentations shown in 3D, which did give it a new dimension on how to experience movies. Particularly since the glasses were upgraded from the paper-based versions to actual glasses made from plastic. Do try and watch Tangled in 3D.
Seriously.
That was mind-bending with the floating torches scene. Self-titled Nike Air Mags. What seemed like a high-tech fantasy that was only limited to movie magic became a reality on October 21, 2015, when Michael J. Fox revealed to the world the first working pair of self-tying Nike Air Mags
Oh,
on the
that's
Jimmy
rad.
Kimmel Show. Biometrics. Although this was predicted in Knight Rider, with Michael only being allowed to gain entry to kit with fingerprint pads recognizing his digits, biometrics is a way of machines being able to recognize the user that is encoded with their fingerprints. This is also used in retinal recognition systems so that the user is looking to gain entry is the one that is listed on the system. Hydrated pizza. As ideal as this would be, I'm kind of glad it didn't, because hydrated food does exist, but nowhere near as picture perfect as Part 2 made it out to be. So, hydrated food did come true, but not in the most desirable manner. The automated delivery service from Cafe 80s did inspire for Pizza Hut to develop an interactive table in which customers could order their meals at the table. And McDonald's have a similar method in place when you're able to order your food via a touchscreen and then proceed to either collect your order from the counter or have it delivered to a designated table. And what they got wrong? Flying cars. As much of an amazing breakthrough in engineering as this would be,
I don't think we're gonna get
the
that till
dangerous
2030.
drivers we have these days, well, I believe this segment from end of year 2015 will explain all.
Let's see, what else did they get wrong?
Flying cars, technically.
No skyways. There's no skyways.
Although if you think about it, I'm actually glad that we don't have flying cars, because considering the hundreds of thousands of awful, dangerous drivers that are out there, imagine them in the sky.
Oh, that is terrible.
Yeah.
That will end up leading to the post-apocalyptic future.
You don't say.
Imagine people like recreating Star Wars battles with that.
Stay on target. It's rigged. Don't get cocky now.
Use the force.
Fax machines still being used predominantly. Fax machines
The
are
end of
still
year
around,
panel was
but
very
considering
different
how
back
people
then.
have email unable to upload via high-speed internet.
It was a pre-SKL world.
Massive use of fax. The fashion trend from Griff's gang. The two ties. I really don't need to go into detail why I'm glad this never caught on. I mean, just look at it.
You say that!
The Chicago Cubs
Just
did
why?
win the World Series, but a year out of its prediction.
2020,
They won in
the double
2016.
ties come into
This was
fashion. It's like,
probably
no!
the most outlandish and outrageous prediction
Fashion revolution will come, lids.
because I don't
No,
think
it will
anyone
not.
was
I will
predicting that
not
this would
allow
come to
this.
pass. Alas, they only made it to the semis that year, losing out to the Florida Marlins. Like its predecessor, it has more than stood the test of time. As Bob Gale said, parents saw this movie when they were kids, they show it to their kids, it just keeps on going. Back to the Future Part 2 is something that will be talked about long after the cast and crew and we are long gone. They just don't make movies like this anymore. I'm MJ Knight, and we are out of time.
Ba 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 dun.
Wait for it.
Damn right on the dock.
Hey, I'm mayor.
Hey, Scott!
I get the McFly title.
Nights out of time. Yes, I love it.
Movie.
It's beautiful.
that shameless plug in.
You did a good job.
Fantastic
Really
work,
good.
my friend.
Thank you. I just want to check the comments section a moment. Oh god. Dan goes, so is everyone in the Tannen family tree just genuinely bad people? Yes.
Always.
Where are the other Jaws movies? Well, getting late, folks. I'm off for the night. Keep well, all of you. Thanks, Aaron. That took a while to get done, and the credits surprisingly took longer than expected because I was always finding new and other references to add in there. So I'm like, okay, gotta redo that. After like the 6th or 7th reiteration, I'm like, no, fuck it. No more. It's fine as it is. If I have to add anything, I'll leave it in the description. No more.
Yeah, don't be like the don't be like that one animator who spent like 26 years on an animated movie only to have it taken away from him because he was too much of a perfectionist for his own good.
Richard Williams.
Yep, Richard Williams and The Thief and the Cobbler.
Nah, I just kept the review as clean and simple as possible. I mean, some have asked during the writing, why didn't you focus on why Crispin Glover wasn't there? And I'm like, I just want to, cover all that you need to know about the second movie, which will then set up the review for part 3 for next May, because that's when that was originally released in 1990, so get into that. And wow, you don't get too many opportunities to do a 30th anniversary review, so you only ever get one shot at it. So considering how influential and inspiring that movie has been to so many fans, scientists, engineers, and what have you, you gotta treat it with respect. And also because I knew I would be crucified if I got that one wrong. So that's another season done for that review series. So I would have released it 2 weeks ago, but I was always finding things, just to add to it until I got to the point where I'm like, nope, that's it, no more. Leave it as it is. It's surprising how many things they actually did get right with that movie. Although we're glad that flying cars never came to be.
Yep.
Thank God for that.
Well, it's like I said, like Kaiju said, that would have led to the post-apocalyptic future.
Yeah.
Yep.
It would have been Mad Max in the skies.
Stay on target.
You can't tell me that's not gonna happen.
It brings death from above a whole new meaning.
That's why I had to include that segment from end of year 2015, which I knew Kaiju would get a chuckle out of.
Yeah, hard to believe that that's now like almost half a decade ago now.
Yep.
Fuck.
I don't know if I'll keep that particular credits template as a new regular thing. I only brought it in because I thought, why not? Just for this one anniversary, change it up a little bit. Apart from that, I like the clean and simpler look it had too, as opposed to the gold blocky font that I use with the usual template. But
Alright, I return. Little Van Gogh needed some kitty supplies.
Little Van Gogh.
Well, like I said the other week, my sister rescued a little bobcat mix kitten. He kind of has 1 year, so she named him Van Gogh, like Vincent Van Gogh.
I think the other things I'm glad that never caught on properly. I mean, granted, it's just what they kind of predicted in '89, but that fashion trend from Griff and Company, I'm like, oh good lord. And like I said, the whole two ties, what the fuck was up with that?
Didn't at one point people used to wear two belts?
Oh, that was stupid.
Kind of that punk period, because I know you could crisscross belts, because that's a very, very signature design for Squall Leonhardt in Final Fantasy.
Ah. And the Chicago Cubs did get in within a whisker of that prediction, but it wouldn't come for another year. But, yeah, a lot did come true. But it's like we discussed 4 years ago, Kaiju, the whole, Marty losing his judgment when he was called Chicken, it just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, it was just like, well, we got to do something with his character because he already went through a major character again. What can we do? He's self-conscious of how other people perceive him. Fuck it, yeah, fine. Because that's a good example of when you have like a static character that kind of is what's the word? What's the opposite of beneficial?
Detrimental?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Yeah, an example of like having a static character being detrimental to the story would be like Batman Returns, where it's like Bruce Wayne doesn't really have anything to do that doesn't involve Selena Kyle in that movie.
And apparently now he's a company.
What does the Overlord want?
He should be fine. I gave him food before I got on. He's just having opinions, as always.
Mao. I wish to be famous as Butters. Mao. Now.
No!
Speaking of opinions,
God help us all.
I think it's time for a certain donkey.
Oh no.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Hey, Shrek. Let's make some waffles.
That is disturbing how well you do that.
It's weird, isn't it? Well...
Set up the donkey noise.
Okay. I'll just get
Wait, are you talking about the game reviewer L-Man's always slandering?
Oh, no. This is something a little different that I wanted to do something special for two people that have gotten in my nerves in the wrestling world.
Oh, no.
No.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. This is the first and only time I will do Donkey of the Day. First, I'm gonna give it to a certain savior of misbehavior, Corey Graves. Oh, Corey. I've always had a love-hate relationship with the guy, but when you come after one of my favorite commentators, Mauro Ranallo, oh, you know you done fucked up. And before I go off topic, it is no secret that Mr. Ronaldo suffers with depression. And yes, he could have handled it well, blah, 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 instead of escaping. I mean, this is the year where mental is talked about. But Lord knows your dumbass didn't help with your comments with that fake-ass apology, so I ain't proud of one bit.
Do you want the
And
documentary?
then, not yet. And what you do next? You think you're trying to play a joke on old Kenta, or for WWE watchers, Hideo Itami, calling it a gimmick. And yet you got all rain and butthurt and all that, so that's less something for you, but now, let's get to the main course. Let's get to the man who has not stopped talking on social media and him look like a little punk.
Oh no!
Come on down, Mr. Seth Rollins.
Oh no!
Oh yes.
Oh, there he is.
Thanks for that. All right, Sethy Poo. I wanted to root for you. We all did. Oh wait. Let me go full Tyra Banks. We all rooted for you.
How dare you?
But everything changed within frickin' Stomping Grounds when you had the nerve to say, I don't know. WWE is the best wrestling company, and I'm sorry. Oh, good Lord, I'm sorry. Oh, my God. But yes. Oh, my God. Month after month after month, we were witnessing you just whining like a little baby. Just looking for love, but that's not how this works, doesn't it? Could have just did your thing and wrestle, and you did. But you let the pressure of the whole system make you look stupid. And that whole heel promo, like, really? Alright. Like, okay, you were not wrong about fans being fickle and all, but you could have at least accepted responsibility that you were not doing your job right.
Mm-hmm.
So you turned heel. Yay, we should be happy, but we're not going to look past with all of the just dodging questions, calling out CM Punk, and you should have took his advice. Stay off of Twitter. It's that easy. But no, you and little Corey had to just gaze the crowd like glass cannons that you are. And to quote my man Frieza from Dragon Ball Z Abridged, you tell Jordan Miles you went down like a bitch.
Ow.
Oh, one more thing.
Donkey.
Thank you, Liz.
Donkey.
You're enjoying that.
Oh, you guys have no idea how long I've wanted to just roast those two.
I can imagine. Pardon me. I think that's pretty much it for the evening. I mean, I can't really think of anything else to do because, Kaiju got his highlight that he had been wanting to showcase, and Back to the Future Part 2 review has been and done. Oh, Dan saying something. What does Carmella see in Corey Graves? Obviously something that we don't. Considering what a jackass Seth Rollins has become, it somewhat brings new perspective to that Shield fan art commission I showed you a few weeks ago, doesn't it, MJ? Yes, it does. And because Seth has turned heel, I get to call him Cartman Rollins again. Funny thing. Only... Oh, hey, and Shoma. And Oni may or may not remember this. If you ever see the 2014 Royal Rumble reactions, Random goes, "Oh, Seth's such a strapping lad. He should really have someone to talk to." And I just simply said, "Oni's available," and Random's doing impression of him. "Oh, Seth Rollins, I need to see him." And Oni's like, "Oh gosh, dang it, no." So anytime Seth Rollins was focused in on, Random goes off on one, and Oni's like, "Please make him stop." I'm actually tempted just to put a Cartman hat superimposed on Seth Rollins and goes, "Screw you guys, I'm going home. It's not fun when I don't get what I want." The only difference is Cartman has personality.
It's true.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we're done. Well, this has been it for season 5. We'll see you back in the new year. We'll work out a date. It'll probably be at the very earliest late January, early February, because
I can deal with that.
Because Christmas and New Year, we gotta rest at some point, people. And Dan says, and also Merry Christmas. For this season, good night from the night, and a Merry Christmas, and thank you all for tuning in for season 5.
Feliz Navidad. Yeah, have a
Take
good
care,
night. Have a good night and Happy New Year.
Take care, everyone.
See you next year.
Kwanzaa, y'all.
And don't forget to check out my comic, available now on Amazon.
Buy his comic.
Buy my comic.
Yes, that's right, people. Get yourself an early Christmas gift.
Hell yeah. Take it home and take what was fuck, I always forget that quote.
Or get it for Hanukkah.
Yeah, you got to get 8 presents for that. Might as well make it a Draco comic book.
And keep your eyes and ears out for future voice projects.
And if you'd like to help to support the YouTube channel, the link to my Teespring store is in the description. There's lots of fun items to be had there, whether it be t-shirts, iPhone cases, Android cases. There's even this weird thing that they do where it's got women's boyfriends t-shirts. I don't get it. I just put it there because some people might want it.
Oh, and right now, Oni is live doing TLC commentary, so if you could just go over to his Twitch channel, you can check him out. He's going live. He's doing stupid shit, so please give him a follow. Give him some bits. Do what you need to do. Because he's affiliate now.
And ask him how much. And ask him how much he loves the Miz.
And finally, and to answer Dan Williams, not only should you buy my book, you should also buy a friend of mine's book that I helped edit, which is Nagorayar, Nagorayar Against the Terror of the Moon, Volume 2. Volume 2 is now officially out, and you can purchase both Volume 1 and Volume 2 together in a special collector's box set, available on kproductions.com.co.th.
Nice.
Yes, in fact, let me just share with you. I've shared it multiple times on the Discord channel as well. So if you're sick of me promoting that comic, buy it, and I'll shut up about it.
Buy his comic. Buy it. Buy it.
Take it home in boxes. Take it home in cases. If your parents try to stop you, throw it in their faces.
Yeah.
You're good though, Andres. It's at least you're not constantly plugging the same Blue Apron ad over and over on like some YouTube channels.
By the way, this live stream was sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends.
Oh my god!
If you interrupt this, I will choke you with an actual apron.
Though in all fairness, I did hear it's actually good. All right, you guys have a good night, happy holiday, and for realsies, see you next year.
All right.
See you next year.
Goodbye, everybody.
Later.
Yeah.
You don't got to go home, but you can stay here.
Oh, that's nasty.
Now do the no.
No.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Good night, everybody.